The People's Choice from Mason's Edition. Over the hill, Grahamstown, Baintown, from everywhere they're coming. They're the People's Choice, the Saxon Superstars.
Finish it. We know you're watching. We can feel you. We know that you are afraid. Afraid of us. You're afraid of change. You're afraid of what happens when the Bahamian people find out that you've lied to them. I'm going to hang up this phone, and we are going to tell them everything. We are going to tell them who they are and what you took from them. Change is not coming. Change is here.
Fellow Bahamians, you have been lied to. You have been told that you are poor, that you have no wealth and no resources. You have been told that your natural resources are worth nothing. You've been told that even if you had natural resources that only the wealthy could afford to mine and process it. While you were struggling to survive, they were secretly shipping billions of tons of your natural resources out of the country. It's time to learn the truth. It's time to end this myth. There is a dangerous cohort called the oligarchs. They have been using your beloved politicians as puppets to do their bidding. To distract you with rallies, handouts and jobs while they ran off with your riches. So the question is, how do you get your resources out of the hands of the oligarchs and into the hands of the Bahamian people? It's easier than you think. Today, I have come as the bearer of good news. And that is that change is not coming, change is here.
They said we were selling dreams, but now they are planning to pay off our 12 billion national debt with our carbon credits. This is an evil plot to make sure that Bahamians don't benefit directly from our carbon credits. It was the PLP that introduced VAT to pay off the debt. Now they are using the debt excuse to rob us again. $12 billion is $80,000 each for all of our estimated 150k organic Bahamian adults. Bahamians must rise up and end our Westminster, plantation-style, economic apartheid system and build a new Bahamas where the people benefit from the wealth of the land. Wake up, Bahamas. Lincoln Bain. Who is Lincoln Bain? This is the question I asked the Bahamian people. Have you ever seen anyone in your lifetime take on the government system face on? In my lifetime I have never saw anyone stand up to this government system like Lincoln Bain. You have to give it to him. The man get balls. For the trolls who in the WhatsApp group spewing lies, he have your back too. You're just like most colonial slaves, trying to take care of master. We forgive you because you're just indoctrined. Once the citizens come together, we don't have to wait for 5 years for a general election. We have the power to remove any government we select, who is not working for us. Remember, we are the boss.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to my producers out there around the world who informed me that there was no sound. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Um, uh, so, the producers, make sure you get that right. All right. So, thank you. I'm sure you can hear now. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure to having you here. This is going to be an informative one today. This is going to be a very informative one. You're going to be able to. I see people saying they still have no audio. Let me know that the audio is fine. Let me know that the audio is up. If the audio is back up, let me do a test myself and see. Okay, the sound is there. All right, the sound is there. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This one's going to be informative. It's time for us to get to the next level. It's time for us to understand what it is we're getting into. And so, for all this time, they told you that I was selling dreams, that carbon credits was something that was not real, that it couldn't happen. Don't listen to Lincoln. He is selling dreams. But now, all they're talking about is carbon credits. And so, what is carbon credits? We're going to break this down for you. You may not understand, and if you have questions, we'll open up the line. We'll take your text so that we could get your questions and we can make sure the Bahamians understand what they're getting into, and they can see how the government is about to rip them off one more time. They're always trying to do things to make sure that we don't benefit. But we're going to show you some stuff today. We got the carbon credits bill. And what we're going to show you from that carbon credits bill is going to be shocking. And so we need you to share this. We always have the documents. We have the Act, the Carbon Credits Act. We have it. We also have the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. And we're going to show you that also today. And what you're going to see in that is going to blow your minds. And if this doesn't make you angry, nothing will. The House of Assembly opens up on Wednesday. Not calling for a protest this time, but I'm going to be there. Anyone who wants to come can come. If you want to come and be in the square while the house is going on, you are welcome to be there. But I'm going to go into the House of Assembly. I'm going to sit there. We got to be the watchdogs. We need watchdogs to watch them and see what they're doing in there. I don't trust them. And so we're going to be in there. I'm going to put my presence in that House of Assembly. I'm going to sit in the chambers to listen, to hear if they will attempt to touch any bills, any citizenship bills in this country to go against our constitution. I'm going to be sitting in the chambers. So anyone who wants to join us and wants to be in the square, you are free to do so. I know I said we're not going to have a protest. No, we're not going to have a protest, but we are going to be there to monitor them. The House of Assembly is a public place, just like a court, etc. And so persons are welcome to be there and be around there. And so that's what we're going to do. So please share the word, spread the word, let people know that we're going to be there. I'm going to be in there. I actually made that decision moments ago. But make sure that if you want to be there, you want to witness what's happening, make sure that you are there. I'm going to our House of Assembly, and I'm going to go inside. I'm going to put on my suit and my tie, and I'm going to be in there. All right? And so thank you so much for that. Before we go on, there's a couple of things I want to touch on. And one of them is that we had the death of two music legends, two persons who impacted this country so much in a positive way. And one of them is Mr. Alan Wallace. He's a constituent of Pinewood, but he's a legendary fellow. He's a musician, a well-known musician, and he formed several well-known gospel groups over the years, known for his guitar and his voice and his singing. This gentleman called me into his house when I first decided to run in 2017. And he wanted, he's not a sheep. And he wanted to know, if I vote for you, why am I voting for you? So he invited me into his house with his family, and offered me dinner. It was an amazing dinner. Them people could cook in that house. He wanted to know, why should I vote for you? You know, he wanted me to know that we need something different and we need change in this country. And I just want to thank him for reaching out to me. I want to thank him. And I want to give my deepest, sincerest condolences to all of his family, to his son, AJ, to his daughter, Tashira, and to his wife, Linda, better known as Lindy. To all of you, you have our deepest sympathy. A legend has passed away, but he has had an amazing life and touched so many people with his infectious smile. He reached out to me as a young, novice, new politician. No reason he should have. I didn't come looking for him. He came looking for me and invited me to sit at his table. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Mr. Wallace. We will always remember you. God bless you. I also want to say rest in peace to another legend who actually was one of my mentors who actually impacted my life. You know, people will never know how some people are connected. A lot of people hear me playing the piano, they hear me singing, and doing so many different things. One of the people who impacted me and educated me on this stuff was a very powerful man. He was music. He was professional. He was professionalism. This is Mr. Lee Callender. He is the greatest pianist this country has ever seen. If you see his fingers roll, which you will in a minute, because I'm going to do a tribute to him, he's amazing. It's like he's playing with 10 fingers at the same time. He's a consummate professional and he practices and practices, and he can do it in his sleep. He was also a vocal coach, and a lot of people appreciate my singing. And he was one of the persons who trained me. My initial music teacher in primary school started it all off. But this man was the one who taught me. The same way he taught his wife, Miss Joanne Callender, he taught me. He taught me lessons of being a man. He taught me spiritual principles. This man right here. He was a member of Bahamas Faith Ministries, Dr. Miles Monroe. There's so many talented people that came to that place. He was one of them. He will forever be a Bahamian legend. This man taught me how to sing. He taught me how to have range. A lot of people are amazed, and some people don't know that my range goes from low bass to high soprano. I can sing in any range. And he was the one who showed me how important that was. You can see how he taught his wife, Joanne Callender, and gave her that range. And she can hit all those notes. And so he's the man who helped me get there. I want to thank you, Lee Callender, for all that you've done for me and so many other young people who you have trained. And you've taught the secret of professionalism and the real keys to vocalization, to being a vocalist, and to being a proper pianist with the right form, the right practice, and the right discipline. And thank you, Joanne Callender, for lending us to him for all these years. God bless you, Lee Callender. You are an amazing, humble man. A man who someone could sit down and talk to for hours. Never a negative word from you. Never a negative word. Always uplifting and upliftment. You're one of a kind. God bless you. And we'll see you on the other side. I wanted to take this time for anyone who's never experienced Lee Callender and his talent. I just wanted to take a second, tribute to him, a 3-minute tribute, to let you see this amazing man play. Because of him and his professionalism, I was able to go on tour on the entire East Coast concert piano as a young man. Because of some of the professionalism that taught me, I got to see amazing musicians stand around my piano in amazement of some of the things that I could do. It was things that I learned from this man right here, Mr. Lee Callender. And so, ladies and gentlemen, playing this timeless song, What a Wonderful World, I present to you the one, the only Lee Callender. Ladies and gentlemen, the legend, the man himself, Mr. Lee Callender. Thank you for everything that you've done for this country and for all of the young people and older people that you've influenced. The Bahamas has been a better place because you lived. I know this show isn't about that, but I have to honor him. I'm going to honor him for a second by giving back what he gave to me. In honor of you, Lee. Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for my heaven and home? When my Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. And I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the and I know he watches. Oh, he watches. Yes, he watches me. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Joanne. God bless you. See you on the other side. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are some great and amazing men that we have lost, and it seems like almost every day we're losing Bahamians. It's like this death over this nation, but we are here, and we're going to transform this nation, and we're going to take it exactly where it needs to be. We are going to mentor young people, just like these men have done so. And so much of what I've accomplished is because of Lee Callender and what he taught me for the period that he taught me. And so we have to give back. We have to give back. We have a nation to save on behalf of all of those who came before us. Lee might not live to see the new Bahamas, but many of us who he taught and transformed will. Thank you and God bless you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I go from there to a spirit of sadness because everyone heard about this this Haitian lady. She's a Bahamian of Haitian descent, and I call her a patriotic Bahamian because she stood up and she spoke out for what is right. She started to get victimized because Haitians were like, "How you could be against Haitians? You're supposed to be a Haitian," um, and because she spoke the truth. I'm going to play some of what she talked about. I'm going to play some of it. And I'm playing this because she started to receive death threats from immigrants in our country because she is speaking the truth. That our children are in trouble, that Abaco is in trouble, and that if we don't do something, this entire nation is going to be in trouble. I don't know this young lady personally, but I know that what I saw in her is a true patriotic Bahamian. And I will stand with her if I have to take on an army, a legion, because only one country we got and she is right. We have to defend this. The immigrants are now getting more and more bold in our country. Our land is at risk, our future is at risk, our children are at risk, our sovereignty is at risk. We have to do something. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to hear what this lady had to say. I don't think that she said anything wrong or anything out of the way. I'm going to play two clips for you, and you can make your judgment and your determination on how you feel about what she said.
Need to be done. Illegal homes are being built. And some of these Haitian people are having kids, and their kids are growing up to be criminals. And I ain't come for all the Haitians, because there are a few good Haitians there. Please, people, share this live to whoever y'all could share it to, because Abaco need help. Need help. DNA lost, you won't hear from them no more. After them lost, you won't hear from them no more. It's only the coalition standing up for us, but you all will be against them. Make it make sense.
This lady was pouring her heart out because of what she experienced. She's pouring her heart out, and you can go and watch the entire video. She's pouring her heart out to the Bahamian people. Listen, we got to get it together. She was pouring her heart out to say that, listen, we are in trouble, y'all. That y'all don't know what y'all are in for. Y'all are taking this too lightly. She was pouring her heart out to say, Bahamas, we got to get this together. I don't know if anyone is listening in Abaco, but if you're in Abaco, my word to you is y'all got to stand up. After the hurricane, no help came from the government. I'm telling you, no help is coming from the government now. If you don't stand up, Abaco, you're gonna lose that beautiful island. Everyone from Abaco loves Abaco. Abaco is home. Abaco could be another country of its own. The way it was so amazing and powerful, the way it was so prosperous and beautiful. But now Abaco is under threat because our government has sold themselves. They've sold their soul to the devil. Abaco, you must stand up. You must stand up. What that woman is warning us about is the absolute truth. She's not exaggerating at all. And most of all, she says it. She's of Haitian descent too. We had to just quickly grab this little clip for you that has some more of what she had to say. I want you to listen to her. Listen to her heart. Listen to her genuineness. They've now threatened her life from the life of her family. And so she was advised to stand down and don't say anything because they would kill her. Let me tell you something. I can say this to every single illegal immigrant or legal immigrant in Abaco. If y'all touch one hair on that woman's body, if y'all touch one hair on her children's body, prepare for war. That is a stern warning. If y'all touch that innocent woman because of her voice and her opinion and speaking the truth, let me tell you something. Prepare for all out war. Now, y'all can take that however y'all want, but we will defend our patriots. We will defend our people, and we will defend our land. I will say this to you again. If she is in a car accident, prepare for war. If she has a heart attack, prepare for war. If she is kidnapped, prepare for war. Do not cross the Rubicon. If you cross the line in the sand, prepare for all out war. That woman is a woman of God who believes in her God, and she was speaking truth to what is going on in this country. And while the government, y'all might have the government fix, and y'all might have the government afraid of y'all, there's a remnant of Bahamians who are not afraid, and we will come for you. Don't start nothing that you don't want to finish. Because if you start it, you're going to awaken a sleeping dragon. Bahamians are very passive people until you make us angry. We have two modes, passive mode and monster mode. Y'all don't want to see that. If y'all touch that woman, Y'all go awaken the sleeping dragon. Don't sleep on Bahamians. That's all I have to say about that. This is more of what the young lady had to say. This is more of what she had to say. And someone recorded it from a phone or something like that, but that was the best way we could get it quickly. Please see this.
I don't care who what. I don't care what. And if I have to go on Eyewitness News for the government to open their eyes and do something, I am going to do that. If I have to be the only Haitian Bahamian to stand up for what is right in this country, I am going to do that. My nephew was targeted and stabbed and almost killed because the Haitian children are against him because his best friend is a Bahamian. Because he refused to be in that gang. Because they feel like you are against us, you are with us, you against us, so we could kill you. His own people, our own people try to kill him. And now y'all inboxing me and say, oh, y'all always want to blame the Haitians? Some of them are the wickedest set of people. Yeah, I said it. They come to the country with all type of witchcraft because they don't believe in God. And now because I have a Haitian last name, because my parents are Haitian, I ain't supposed to be against them, even when they are wrong. Even when they try to kill my nephew, I'm supposed to stand up with them. And I blame a lot of y'all Haitian Bahamians that growing up in Abaco, encouraging this, encouraging the illegal activities and the criminal activities because y'all don't want getting it because it's a touchy situation between Haitians and Bahamian. If you're wrong, you're wrong. Some of them need to go back. Some of them in this country, illegal, no documents, no papers, don't pay NIB, don't contribute, but they will have all the say on Facebook. And some of them who were born in the country still don't have no documents because they have to wait until they're 18 to have status. Y'all need to sit small. There's more Haitian children in the school than Bahamian children. And now someone come at me and say, oh, well, the Bahamians have gang. The Bahamian children have gang because the Haitian children have gang and there's more Haitians than them. So what y'all want them to do? So the Bahamian children have to stand together because the Haitian children come to take over. And don't come at me and say I'm discriminating because I'm Haitian. My parents are Haitian. And this is what is happening. These young 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds are doing witchcraft because their parents are doing witchcraft. So witchcraft attacked the school.
Bye, down.
And so now they have a gang. And someone said, oh, what gang? Yes, they have a gang. My 24-year-old son said they had a gang from that time. He been out of school from 2016. They have a Haitian gang, yes.
Look young.
See, y'all will be hiding these things. And now our children can't go to school in peace. They are afraid. The bathroom don't have no privacy. The teachers don't know what to do because there ain't enough for them to control these children. And I'm not going to sit back and allow these children to get away. They saying, oh, it's self-defense. Oh, your nephew had a knife. One little 14-year-old boy amounts 50 of these Haitian boys. His best friend threw a knife at him because he's trying to defend himself away from these boys. If he didn't have that knife, swinging the knife, they would have killed him. And so now you're using that as excuse. Oh, he had a knife. But 20-something boys come at him.
Fred Davis, y'all listening to this?
The boy that stabbed him, I heard, is 18 years old. He ain't even in school. Every day that boy comes by that school, when school out, to call his crew who in the school.
Jesus.
Because he have his crew in the school targeting these children.
God don't play. You see how he letting it out?
People.
He letting a Haitian
We
say
need to stand together.
a young lady.
And I'm not discriminating. But we got to put right where right is. We got to put right where right is. Parents are forced to take their children out the government system because they are afraid for their children. Bahamians don't have no say in the school, their own school,
Jesus.
because they are afraid to go to school because of the gang that is in the school. Now my nephew was targeted by our own people because he's Haitian. He was targeted by our own people because he refused to join their gang. And so what they are saying, if you're with us, you're against us. He was targeted by his own people because he had Bahamian friends. And y'all will come and say, it ain't like that. You always blaming Haitians. I know. I raised that boy from he was 3 years old. I know what's going on.
Jesus.
For the past couple of weeks before this incident happened, I've been begging, pleading with my brother to take him out of that school. Because he come to me and say, Annie, I ain't safe. Annie, they trying to gang me. Last week he was gang. His own people gang him.
My God.
You know, Bahamian children. And so when I came on Facebook and say the Haitian children, I meant saying the Haitian children because there wasn't no Bahamian kids that attacked him. It was about 50 Haitian children that attacked their own children because there wasn't no Bahamian kids that attacked him. It was about 50 Haitian children that attacked their own. And so yes, I've said Haitians because that's who they are. I don't care if they were born in the country. They are Haitians until they apply for citizenships.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to the House of Assembly on Wednesday. I have to have a word with Brave. I have to stop him and have a friendly word with him to let him know enough is enough. This ain't gonna work. Like I said, I'm not going there for a protest. Anyone who wants to come can come. If you want to come in the square, you can come in the square. But I'm going in that house. I need to have a word with Brave. Because this ain't making sense and this ain't adding up. And something is going wrong here. People don't understand how serious this is because a lot of us live in our little bubbles. We go to homework and church, and we don't really know what's going on. We don't even know what our children are going through. We don't know what our children are going through. Some of your children are being forced into gangs. Your good sons are being forced into gangs. I remember when I was growing up in Pinewood Gardens, it was a rough area. I used to go to school at Princeville, so I used to walk to school a lot of times. And that area was rebellions. The Pinewood area was the dogs. Um, and so me to walk to school, they know I'm from this area. So when they come there, automatically that's a problem. I don't have no protection. If you want protection, you might as well join the gang. So what's happening to the children now that she's talking about is the Haitian gang is now telling the boys, because they like to get them from early. You know, they want to get you from early for several different reasons. You can't really go to big jail if you do some stuff when you're young. They get them in from young because now you know this isn't any undercover police or anything you're dealing with. They grew up in the system and they target persons from young. And so these Haitian gangs are now targeting these boys of Haitian descent. And someone says swamp of dogs. Yes, that's what we were. And these Haitian these Haitian gangs are now targeting these young men early. And if you don't join them, you get attacked from them. And so it's like you might as well join because if you don't join, the other gang will beat you up and this gang is going to beat you up. So some of your children are going through terror and the parents don't even understand. The parents can't do nothing for you because what you can do, you can't go to the police. You got to go to school. After you've already snitched and gone to the police, how do you survive in school? How do you go back to that school? Your parents can't afford to put you in private school. What are you going to do? Many young men secretly join gangs for survival. I know about that. I've seen it. I've seen good, innocent young men turn into monsters on these streets. And I can tell when they transform. In those days, they were fight, rock, and bottle, breaking up a bus here and there. Today, there's machine guns. There's killing, there's murder. It's serious today. There's a serious drug ring that goes from Colombia to Haiti, the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos to Miami. There's big money involved in this now. Big money. I'm going to show you a video now, and I'm showing you this because this is important. And so there's going to be some language in this. Please forgive me, but I have to show you what is really going on. We have to be real. You have to understand what is going on in this country. Please don't judge me. There's some strong language in this. But if you don't see this now, you're going to see it later. If you don't see this now, you're going to feel it later. I need the Bahamas to see this because this is the only way that we're going to let our politicians see that enough is enough. We can't handle this. And I was saying this to you, your children cannot handle the war that is to come. These people are serious. I'm not talking about all Haitians. They are good Haitians, just like that young lady. But it's the bad ones who are being entertained and let in. They're coming in. The bad is coming in with the good. And we got to get this in control. Otherwise, it's going to be a war on our hands that we can avoid now by closing the door. There's a young man who's on a most wanted poster. He says he's Zopan. He was in court. They gave him some time for some reason. And while he was in court, he says he picked his handcuff and walked straight out. He says he does voodoo. So I guess he did that to make himself invisible, or he felt that way. But he picked his handcuff and walked straight out and left. I want you to hear the conversation that this young man is having. And I'm only showing you this because this is real and this is serious. If you are afraid to hear a curse word, then that's on you. This country is now in store for is worse than any curse word that you've ever heard. But first, I'm going to show you some words from this fellow, what he had to say after escaping. There's two little short videos he sent to someone, so two little short voice notes he sent to someone, and then I can let you hear the video of this young man, and you could hear how he's talking about being a part of Zopan, the biggest gang in the Bahamas. And he says he does voodoo. I'm going to have to stop it before then because he calls some people name, all right, in the end, lawyers or whatever, all right? So in case that missing play for some reason, I don't take anything by that. You shouldn't take anything by that. And we're not trying to defame the lawyer that he's making any claim against. But let's watch this.
Oh no, Mr. Evans gave me 15 months yesterday. Huh? Damn boss, damn, but on the nose how I get a bobby pin and take my handcuffs off and walk through number 10 and fucking walk through quarter and after 4 or 5 o'clock when court was closed. Hey. They ain't post that, why they ain't post that? But they posting every time I shoot up somewhere or you know what they saying? I ain't shoot up that boy place to go to jail. I tell them he ain't fair for their life. I talk to that boy every day. I can fuck that cord right up, boy.
So he's threatened the courts of this Bahamas, and so we're going to see what happens to him. But of course, he's Haitian. Nothing is going to happen to him. We had a Haitian young man before when they were doing demolition said he's going to start killing Bahamians. He said there's more of them than us. Remember that? That was around 2014 or so. He said it was more of them than us. And they're going to start giving Bahamians Colombian neckties. They took him in for custody, and then he came out smiling. They gave him some Kentucky, and then came out smiling. It was a joke. Watch what else he had to say.
Ferguson come to court for my.
All right. I don't remember what he said there. What he called Bajon Ferguson's name. That's an attorney, and so I know Bajon Ferguson to be a good fella. So I don't know what he is saying, and that's that.
Ferguson come to court for my next court day. That Y'all gonna know what's going on in that court. Y'all gonna see what's going on, bro. Y'all can afford to put one. Hey, they's looking for Monster, they don't find Monster. They's looking for Geo, they ain't find Geo. Who the fuck you think they can find me? I got all these guns. And they know that. You gotta come approach me cautiously. So, Haitians all over Nassau illegally. I get them guns now. What the fuck? I bigger than the police force. You forget it.
Says he's bigger than the police force. He got all these Haitians and he got all these guns. He seemed to be intrigued by being on the news. They talk more when I do this and that on the news, but they wouldn't say how I escaped from the court. All right. So someone says, but they found him. That'll be awesome. So I'm going to show you another video of this young man. And again, this is it's horrible that we have to play this, but we have to bring awareness to what's really going on in this country. Y'all, please bear with me. I wouldn't normally play stuff like this, but Bahamians are asleep while our politicians are selling us out. I am telling you that your children are not ready for this war that is to come. Please excuse the language. Excuse anything that he may say. I don't endorse anything that he has to say or any name that he might call. We're not interested in that. We're just showing you the mentality of some of these young men that have Bahamian accents that grew up in the Bahamas, but they consider themselves Haitian. We must sensitize our people to what is really going on. This is not xenophobia. This is real.
I don't mind everybody. I already just turning a couple guns. The fucking, but my brain breach. I'm paying whole $2 grand fine. Why they don't talk that? Why they don't put everything on the news? I shooting up niggas' place. Huh? Why the one nigga dead? But y'all know how it go, bro. DS fucking know, bro. They know how it go. But one drop that nigga on them whopper, bro. That nigga ain't never killed my brother, so I was never looking to really kill that nigga, bro. That's just a message for me to go jail to find out one or two information, right? And the man know this, and they just putting everything on the doors. I breaching my bail. A million people breaching their bail. Why they putting London ramming up? You see what they saying? But if they all really want to know the truth, I get some WhatsApp and some videos. I ain't gotta hide, bro. Because the whole court system will get fucking fired, bro. See, you carry me down my car, I break out the fucking car, then put that on the nose yet. Because why? They want me bringing a couple guns, bro, because I used to fucking mob. Why you think I get the mob? I used to get 2 things and then the fuck coming out of that, bro. Huh? And I talking with the big man, them by on my side, them, bro. I then turning guns, bro. I think my brother get out of jail, bro. Black magic, I let him go on. I send my people lady. They ain't know this is, but everybody's friend, but I crazy. My brother home, but 5 years, but 6 years, he been in jail, but you don't play me. But if you only ever come around me, you want to sit 36 I get, boy. 2 roots, boy. Listen to me, boy. You ain't no gang bigger than the Zoba clip, but you all that kill squid. Y'all can see what's going on, bro. That nigga burning on your station, bro. You see that? God is real, bro. That's all I need, boy. Fuck y'all humans, bro. And the government need to tax me, I need to tax nobody. Fuck y'all. Bitch ass niggas. Huh? Come Jamaica looking for me. Come. I ain't fucking hiding, bro. Y'all come. And I'll be back in court December for my next court date. Be John Ferguson as an ex-police. Once I get
I can't play any more of that. There's a lot more of that he had to say. But he talked about his old pound and he talked about black magic and how he got his brother out and he showed the Bible. You know, they like to use the Psalms and his book, whatever book that was. But ladies and gentlemen, something serious is going on here. And like I said, your children ain't ready for this war that's to come. We got to stand up now. Like I said, I'm going to the House of Assembly. You all read between lines. I'm going to the House of Assembly on Wednesday. want to come. But I could be there. I'm going in the House of Assembly peacefully. I ain't got nothing bad to do or nothing bad to say. I'm going in there to sit down and observe and listen to see what they're going to do as it relates to the citizenship bill. If they have the courage to do anything, we got to watch. We're in trouble, y'all. We're in serious trouble. I know it took some time to do this part of it, but I think you all needed to see exactly that. We got to stand up. So, Wednesday the 28th, I'm going to be visiting the House of Assembly. All right? And that's all I got to say about that. Ladies and gentlemen, one more thing before I go into carbon credits. We're going to spend about an hour on carbon credits because we got to inform you and let that go. I just wanted to touch on something important, and that is uh, the statement, the embarrassing statement, speech of Brave Davis in the House, sorry, in the UN, the embarrassing speech in the UN by Philip Brave Davis. And a lot of people just heard that speech and it just went over their heads because they don't realize exactly how stupid that speech was. But that speech is the worst speech of any of our leaders. And it entertains and countenances evil and the wrong mindset, a mindset that we should have grown out of by now. We need some serious change in this country. Brave Davis talked about uh, the financial industry and how they just put us on a blacklist yesterday. And he actually brought that up. We should actually be ashamed as a country to go on a blacklist. But he brought that up, that we were put on a blacklist. I just want to make this clear to Philip Brave Davis. But, before that, I'm going to let you hear what he had to say first. And I'm going to tell you why what he said was so wrong. And it should never be said. And he should step down because of what he is saying. And this is why we need a new Bahamas. I heard some people praising the speech, saying that, oh, he was standing up against the industries and this and that. No, he wasn't. He was promoting a criminal culture. He was embarrassing our nation. I'm going to let you hear it first, and then we'll go from there. Producer, let them hear their prime minister embarrass this entire nation.
The people of Haiti continue to suffer. The political.
Yeah, the other clip, not that clip yet. We want them to.
Mr. President, it's time for a new resolve and new cooperation. Last year, I brought to the attention of the General Assembly the threat to the financial services industry in the Bahamas and our region. I said then, financial services is a crucial component of the Bahamian economy. We see an indispensable role for the UN in leveraging its universal jurisdiction for greater oversight of global anti-money laundering, de-risking, and tax cooperation matters. Sadly, little to nothing has changed. We continue to struggle to recover from the economic shocks of hurricanes and the COVID-19 pandemic. We also have the additional battle with inflationary pressures created not by us, by the war in Europe. And now, to top it off, we are yet again the victims of inequitable and unjust measures on the part of major economic actors. All these factors place a stranglehold on our national development and that of other small island developing states. Just yesterday, the OECD issued a statement placing the Bahamas on their blacklist. Mr. President, this action is profoundly unfair. When we look at the countries that are flagged as high risk and blacklisted, several startling commonalities emerge. Why is it that European states that operate frameworks akin to that of blacklisted countries are not being even eligible for the inclusion on these lists? Why are all the countries targeted, all of them, small and vulnerable and former colonies of European states? We find it astounding that the $2 to $3 trillion, which is estimated to be laundered each year through the developed countries, are never flagged as causes for concern. And yet my country, which is widely recognized as one of the best regulated countries in the world, and other countries like the Bahamas, are singled out for such reputational attacks. The robust regulatory regimes of our central bank, Securities Commission, and Insurance Commission are chastised on minor details of technical process, while much bigger transgressions in the developed world are ignored. The evidence is mounting that the considerations behind these decisions have less to do with compliance and more to do with the darker issues of prejudged discriminatory perceptions. Let me submit, Black governed countries also matter. Mr. President, we support the call for reforms in the global financial system to make it more relevant to the needs of today. But those reforms need ambition. They need to go beyond the incremental, and they need to apply to all. For example, the community of international financial institutions are in a position to forgive the debt incurred by the economic shutdowns during the COVID-19 pandemic, and they should do so. Every year that we don't do the right thing to do becomes more expensive. Mr. President,
ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you heard what I heard. I even heard some PLP trolls saying that this is the best speech that they had heard from the Prime Minister. I don't understand it. Let's break down what this man just said. Basically, he is saying that we are put on a blacklist because we're black, and only black nations are put on this blacklist. He is saying that financial transactions are not flagged in European nations. What I want Brave Davis to do, try to make a transaction in Europe and see what happens then. Try to make a transaction that is not justifiable, that is not a regular part of business, that you have no accounting or accountability for, and see what happens. Get flagged. They will not only flag you, they will come for you. Let me break this down for y'all because I promise to always show you when our politicians are doing what is wrong. What's happening here is that this is now the Bahamas, all of y'all encouraging, because y'all let him do it, encouraging criminality. The pirate culture of the Bahamas continues with his speeches. The aiding and abetting of drug dealers, etc., continues with this speech. I'll tell you how now. We are put on the blacklist for a reason. It is not because we are black. The first part, the reason we are put on the blacklist is because there's a serious issue around the world with tax evaders and criminals and terrorists moving money around. And they're trying to control that. Tax evaders, criminals who are trying to hide money, and terrorists. And they're trying to control it around the world. Brave Davis, as leader of our nation, you know that. And for you to come out representing our country, but representing your criminal culture that you are used to, you have embarrassed our nation. And yes, you are correct. It's mostly non-white, not black. Mostly non-white countries, because there's Latino countries and Hispanic countries is also on the list. There's American territories that are on the list, like Guam, and other countries. The British countries that are on the territories that are on the list: Gibraltar, Bermuda, Cayman. Okay, and these are British nations. Okay, and so yes, there are mostly non-white countries on there. I give you that. But it's because most of our countries have a corruption culture. And it is the wealthy from these countries that use our corrupt governments to hide their money from their criminal actions or to hide their taxes. And they're hiding it in our country because it's easier to bribe our politicians because there's no ramification for bribing our politicians. That is why it's mostly our nations. And we should want to change that culture, Mr. Prime Minister. It is governments like yours and those that preceded, where if a politician does something wrong, nothing happens. The politician takes a bribe, nothing happens. And that is why most of these are tax havens. We are put on the list for a reason, and it's not because we are black. Your statement is wrong. It is because of the activities that happen in this country, and you know it goes on in this country. You spent a whole career defending these kinds of activities, defending 90 and others. The 100 million that they said you stole from the Whitefish brothers. What do you think the Whitefish brothers was doing? They were moving their money around. The OECD is not telling you that you can't do business with their citizens, They're telling you if their citizens is in your country hiding money, they just want to know. Just be open with them. That's it. The difference with our country and the OECD countries, that's the European countries mostly, is that you can go on any European country and publicly, even if you're not from Europe, you can find out who has a business there. We can find out if any of our citizens have a business there and what they're doing and how much money they got there. You can't even find out that in the Bahamas. You can't even find out what money they have in this country, in here. So let alone if Brent Simonet and Cameron Simonet and them have companies overseas and in Europe and Switzerland, etc. We could find out there, but we can't find out what they do in here because we have that kind of criminal culture. Okay, let me show you. All right, let me just take a pause here. I wasn't gonna do this, but let me take a pause here and show you all the difference. Let me show you why the difference in the Bahamas and how we operate and Europe and why they keep doing that. That's because we're keeping secrets. There was something called the Paradise Papers. Now, all of you heard about the Panama Papers, correct? All of you heard about the Panama Papers, but there was something called the Paradise Papers, which largely involved the Bahamas. So now you have a situation where criminal dictators, these despots, can hide them and they can steal all the country's money and hide it in tax havens like the Bahamas and get away with it. And Brave Davis, instead of saying that we stand up against it, he's saying, oh, y'all doing this because we black. What is that? Let me first show you just a little sneak peek on the Paradise Papers, and then I'm going to show you the difference with the European countries and how open they are, and our country and our secrecy. And then I'm going to tell you why Brave Davis wants this corrupt culture to continue. I'm going to open your eyes. But first, I want you to see the Paradise Papers. Let's just get a little shot of it to help you understand what's really going on. So let's share the screen and show them exactly what's going on with the Paradise Papers.
From the people who brought you the Panama Papers.
It's not been a great week. It's almost like being accused of something.
A brand new investigation into the tax lives of the rich and famous. This week, we'll reveal the offshore secrets of politicians, sports stars, celebrities, global royalty, and some of the world's biggest companies. They all make use of offshore paradise islands to keep their riches secret. Mainly, it's to avoid tax. But offshore islands have been used to bust international sanctions, to hide compromising financial relationships, and even to pay school fees. A massive document leak shows the respected offshore law firm Appleby is assisting wealthy individuals to avoid millions of pounds in tax. Its experts will exploit loopholes to set up complex layers of company structures in tiny tropical islands. By placing valuable assets like luxury homes, private jets, yachts, and trust funds into offshore companies, money can be funneled into the places that charge zero tax and ask few questions. Now, this kind of service doesn't come cheap. And while hiding money offshore is not illegal, you need lawyers and accountants willing to push the limits of every tax law, and lobbyists to keep politicians from getting too nosy. But when the lid comes off, the ramifications can be huge. As we unveil the faces behind some of the most secretive schemes, it might emerge there are some things even money can't buy.
And so that is the Paradise. That's just a little preview of the Paradise Papers, and it shows you what's really going on. They talked about lobbyists. That's the people that just pay off government ministers. They get paid to pay off government ministers to keep things undercover and keep things going the way they are. That's really who they are. Now, I want you to watch this. All right, watch how simple it is to find out, to see open and transparency. I'll use England as an example, and we could use Spain and France and all of them, but we don't really speak their language. So I wanted to show you in English exactly what the deal is. So I'm going to go to the British archives and show you how easy it is. Even if a Bahamian has a business or whatever over there, you can see exactly what they're doing. You can see how much money they have. You can see how much money they're making because there's actual disclosures. All right. So watch. Let me share this with you. I want to do this in front of you so that you can see how easy this is. And this is the difference. So all they're saying is, listen, make it open, make it transparent, show us what's going on. But these governments like Brave Davis, they don't even give us Freedom of Information Act. They don't want to tell their own people what's going on. And there's a reason. I'm going to show you that reason in a minute. Just stay tuned. But see here, you can do a search. Let's see. Who I want to search for? Who you want to search for? Who do we search for? Okay. Brent Simonet. Brent Simonet. So, for example, that's Simonet. Brent Simonet, for example. All right. Andrew Brent Simonet. Okay, so let's look in there, and you can see companies, you can see whatever. Here it is. So Andrew Brent Simonet. This is his son actually, and you can see. Oh, what is this? Bahama Hot Mix Construction International, UK Limited. Oh, they have a company. Hot Mix has a company that's actually see, Andrew Brent Simonet is Bahamian. This is in the British archives. You can see whatever. Country residence, Bahamas. Occupation, businessman. Ah, okay. So let's look. BHM construction. That's Bahama Hot Mix. Let's click on that. All right, here we go. All right, say UK.com. All right, so you can just see where we are. All right. Here we go. Company number, so and so, Bahama Hot Mix, etc., etc. And so look. Wow. See it here? Nature of business, construction of roads and motorways, construction of bridges and tunnels, construction of, oh, we can see exactly what they're doing. We can also see the people involved in this. We can see all the people who have shares in this. The people who have shares. Here we go. Yeah, look. What's that? So Andrews, this Bethels, that's the Bethels is some of the rich families from the Bahamas. Peter Andrews, see, Bahamian, uh, Bethel, Bahamian. Anthony Myers, oh, you know that name. British slash Bahamian. I don't know how you could be British and Bahamian, but he recently changed this. He had it as British first, and then he switched it to British slash Bahamians after we did our documentary. Saeed, this one does all their stuff. See, Ibrahim Saidi, he does all their accounting stuff. And there's Andrew Brent Simonet, see, Bahamas, Bahamian, whatever. Saidi is British and lives in the Bahamas, etc. And then, cool, Craig Simonet, that's Brent Simonet brother. All right. So what you do is you put stuff in your son name or you put it in the company name, and that's how they operate to keep them out there because that's how they work. And you can see all of their filing histories, everything that they've ever filed is right there. So you can see the difference and you can see why they put us on a blacklist because we have a secrecy kind of situation that encourages criminality, terrorism, etc. All right, so see, the director details change, Roland Craig Simonet, confirmation statement. You can look at all these documents. All right, who wants to see? Who wants to see the money? Anyone want to see the money? Okay, let's see the money. Let's see the money. Bahama Hot Mix. All right. So here we go. Let's go straight down. All right. I want to see the bottom line, man. I want to see the bottom line. Hold on. Where the money? So, Betcha Saidi signed on this. Yep. Abraham Sahidi signed on this. And see here, they're saying $3 million here. All right, I can show you some other documents. But what you do in these kind of events is you have several companies, and you have one company paid to the other company, so it looks like the company isn't making profit, so you don't have to pay taxes, et cetera, et cetera. That's some of the things that people do. I ain't saying this is what they're doing, but that's some of the things that people do. All right, let me go to another one. And you see how open and transparent this is? When they operate in these other countries, that's how they operate. But why in the Bahamas everything must be kept secret? I'm going to show you in a minute. All right, I'm going to show you in a minute. And so the one, let me see. Here's another one. They filed the money stuff. See here? So all the money stuff is here. All the money stuff is right here. So all the millions that's being made is right here. And so they can't hide this. It's right there. And so it's right there for anyone to see. Let's look at another one. All right, full. Here we go. Yeah, good. Let's look at this one. So again, all of what they made, they accounting, they have to account to the public and say what exactly is going on. All right. So all of the money is right here. I saw one a minute ago that had like $14 million on it. All right. But anyway, we won't go into all of that. I'll just leave that there for now. I'm just trying to show you how easy it is. So, for example, let's go. Where are we? Let's say let's call a lawyer, Wayne Monroe. All right, Wayne Monroe. There's no way he's dealing in the UK. Oh my God, Wayne Monroe. Hold on, Monroe Property Services. Hold on. Let's go. Wayne Monroe. Let's click on it. Wayne Monroe. Come on. I'll make computer freezing up now. Come on. Oh, is my computer under attack? Come on. Y'all don't do that. Come on, Wayne. Let the people see, man. Wayne, don't do that. Come on. Okay, Wayne Monroe. Let's go. There you go. Thank you, Wayne. Here we go. So SFP metals, etc. and you can see who all is involved with it. You can see all the company information, overview, what they sell, et cetera, et cetera. You can see all the documents. I just wanted you to see this. All right. So I just wanted to quickly go through that. And you could put other names and experiment and see exactly what is what. But the difference with that is that what they're saying is in the Bahamas, persons go there who should be paying taxes and they hide their money so they don't pay taxes. Also, persons involved with crime and criminality, they go to the Bahamas and they hide their funds and no one knows what's going on. But these countries that are judging you and these countries that are not being blacklisted is because they have an open transparency type of system. All right, those aren't public companies; those are private companies, and they account and they put out there how much money they're making. You can see. I could show you their bank accounts. I could show you all of that. All right, that is the difference. And so it makes it difficult to have criminal activities. It's not because you are black. But I will tell you why. I will tell you why it is that Brave Davis and want this culture to continue. And it's very simple. All right, it's very simple. It's because think about this first. The banking industry, the offshore stuff, the people hiding their tax money, etc., in the Bahamas. We're not taxing them. They don't pay us any taxes. So how do we as a country really benefit from that? Are we really benefiting from that if we're not taxing them? Did you ever think about that? Now I want to see some suggestions. I'm going to look in the text. How are we benefiting? How are we benefiting if we're not taxing them? How does it benefit us as a nation if they don't really pay taxes? If all these trillions of dollars can come to the Bahamas and not a piece of tax goes on it, how are we really benefiting from that? Are we really benefiting from that? Let me see what some of you all have to say. I'm going to watch the text. I know it's going to take a couple of minutes for it to start coming through. How are we benefiting? And are we benefiting from that? Someone says goodwill. We're not taxing them. Someone says we're not benefiting. Esther says we're not benefiting. Yeah, what do y'all have to say? Y'all talk to me. Talk to me. Let's have a conversation here. All right, let's have a conversation. Are we benefiting? How are we benefiting? How are we benefiting? All right. So we're not taxing them. So what's the deal? Someone says we ain't benefiting, the politicians benefiting. Smart person. I see Shad actually gave a comment before that. Yes. See, listen, Bahamians are moving to the next level. They can't trick us like they tricked our grandfathers. Let me tell you how. Let me tell you who is benefiting. You saw what the clip that I played said. Lawyers and accountants. So like bankers like what's his name? Orville Turngress, Tommy Turngress, them, Wayne Monroe, them lawyers, Brave Davis and them lawyers. They benefit because these persons, when they come to open a company here, they gotta get Bahamians to be directors, etc. And they normally get these corrupt politicians and they normally get these lawyers and stuff. And then they get pastors to be directors, etc. And so they are benefiting. That's why they want this culture. All right. The who's who in this country is benefiting. They are getting their little handouts from this. They are making money from this. You see, Brave's wife sued for some money that she was supposed to get paid. All right. And sued Brave's company for money she's supposed to get paid. Huh? That's who's making the money. So we're not benefiting from the criminals bringing money here, from the tax evaders bringing money here, from the terrorists bringing their money here, from the counterfeiters bringing their money here. We're not benefiting from that. But instead of Brave trying to find a way to get rid of this culture, He is up there making it seem, making it seem like it's only because we are black that we are blacklisted. Now, it is clear that, like I said, more black countries are blacklisted. But it's because we have the corrupt culture that will accept this kind of thing. And it's because the who is benefiting from it, why they want it to continue. So for that man to stand up and make it sound like he's making some righteous statement, no, 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 no. Be righteous and tell the terrorists that you will not allow their money in our country, the tax evaders that you will not allow their money. That's when you're brave. Stand up and saying, oh, y'all doing this because we black. And then saying y'all doing it too. Saying that, oh, some of the white nations is do it too. And they ain't blacklisting them. It doesn't matter if they're doing it too. Now, let me show you the difference in the thinking of the new Bahamas and the old Bahamas. Here's the difference. The difference in the thinking of the new Bahamas is we're not going to be sitting around waiting for rich white people to come and give us some crumbs by forming companies for them. We're going to benefit from our natural resources. That is what we're going to do. We're going to benefit from our natural resources. So we don't have to go around begging. We don't have to be sitting around waiting for a rich person. The same people you say in these white nations that come here, you're sitting around waiting for the rich white people to come to you and say, hey, form a company for me, put your name on it, so you take any of the heat, you be a director, so I could hide my money. No. We will own our natural resources. We will empower Bahamians so we don't have to go around begging. We don't have to be a tax haven anymore. Because guess what? We are going to empower Bahamians to open up businesses overseas. And we want to be able to see what they're doing because we're going to partner with them and we want to make sure what they say they're making, so we get our piece of it. It's a different thinking. We want Bahamians to open up resorts in Jamaica. And we want to fund that with our sovereign wealth fund. We want Bahamians to open up resorts and businesses in America, in Europe, and we want to know what's going on. Mamas, we got to change our thinking. This old way of thinking, this ain't a work moving forward. We got to change our thinking. So I just wanted to get straight for y'all. All right? And so this is a little bit more complex on all of the reasons why they put us on blacklists. You know, they see us as competition for businesses opening up, and they say that we have low taxes, they have higher taxes. There's a reason they have higher taxes, and that's because they have a serious debt level that came, you know, all the way back from the world wars, etc. And they have a lot of social programs now, and so they have a higher tax rate, and they feel like you're having, you know, your competition for them if you have low tax rate and companies are going to open in your country. And so it's a lot more that we have to have a whole separate show to talk about this, but that's really how it works. All right. But we need a prime minister who's not going to go up there talking this nonsense about you just do it too. This is the same kind of culture we have with the PLP and the FNM. Whenever you identify something the FNM doing wrong, they say, oh, the PLPs do it too. So they don't say that, okay, that's wrong. We'll see how we could change it. We'll do some things to change this moving forward. They say, oh, the PLPs do it, so don't say that to me. And the PLP does the same thing. You tell them, listen, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, well, FNM is doing it. So just take it. And that's what he went to the United Nations with, y'all. That's what he went to the United Nations with. Oh, other countries just do it too. White countries just do it. Why we can't do it? Y'all only attacking us because we black. That came out of the mouth of our prime minister. Now, I'm going to be positive and think that, because he don't write his speeches, he just reads the speech, whatever they put in front of him. And I'm going to assume, because people are saying, oh, good speech, Prime Minister, good speech. He didn't write that speech. Someone just gave him the speech and he read it. He's reading off of a paper, making a lot of mistakes doing it. He's reading off a teleprompter, sorry. That's why he's turning this way and this way. That's how they have the teleprompter stage in front of him. So you see him keep turning this way and turning this way, because that's the two teleprompters in front of him. So he's just reading off a piece of paper. The minute I saw that on a piece of paper, I would have said, no. this off. This is what we need to say. So I just wanted to get that straight and get that out there. We need real change and we need to make sense in this country. So I'm going to move on now to something else. Last thing with Brave, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about carbon credits. All right, and I'm sorry it took so long on this stuff, but I had to get that out there. All right. Some says he barely could read either. Yeah. Brave Davis went to the UN after coming from the UK, and I wanted you to see the difference, all right? Because he really made a fool of himself when he went to meet the king. And you'll remember him meeting the king and what happened there. But I wanted to show you the difference with Brave meeting the king and the other members of the Commonwealth meeting the king. All of them were briefed. Our people who were there, my former classmate in Buckingham in London, had to give me certain information. All of them were briefed. Just a cookie cutter thing. So you come, you say a few words. The prime minister is supposed to give his condolences. The king said the same thing over and over. Oh, it's good to be had up for 70 years. That's how we ended it every time. They just exchange the same thing. Everyone had a script, and then you walk over, you sit down, you take a picture, and then you get up and you leave. All of them had, as simple as that was, Brave couldn't do that. Brave went there, grabbed the man, put his hand on him, and started talking. Brave literally started talking. You know what Brave was talking about? He was telling Brave the good time he had in Nassau with somebody. I couldn't hear the name. He was telling him about how they had a good time in Nassau. And so the king responded to him, oh, you're going to see them. There's an event tonight. You're going to see them at that event. And he said some nonsense, and he laughed. And so to not insult him, I guess the king laughed a little bit too. But everyone came, gave their condolences professionally, and Brave come there talking some looseness, but the good time that they had in Nassau. Him and someone else. And then instead of walking over to the chair, he posed. This is y'all prime minister. Watch this. Watch everyone else. Listen to everyone else, and then watch Uncle Ben.
It's you with all its kindness. I promise you, all trip is in pair, but it's separate. It's after all these years, we were lucky to have a 70. That's how I feel about it.
So you heard him giving condolences, and he's saying after all these years, and say we were lucky to have her for 70 years, and then watch now. Sit down. No one had to come back for him. He just followed the script.
The Prime Minister of Australia.
Prime Minister of Australia.
This is now the Prime Minister of Australia. That was Canada.
Your Majesty.
Listen again. Shake hands.
It's so wonderful. I know by now we've been paid for time. And by all tributes.
Well, really affected. And yeah, that sense of grief, but also gratefulness for 70 years of service.
I know, and thank God we have got 70 years. That's the great thing to remember.
Very much.
You hear? Same script. Thank God we had her for 70 years. So they're going by a script. It's just a photo op. And so you come, give your condolences. Thank God we had her for 70 years. Now let's walk over here and take a picture.
Because for you, it's a very personal.
I know. Listen, come and see.
I'm okay.
Sit down intelligently.
Prime Minister of New Zealand.
This is the Prime Minister of New Zealand.
All around the world, your tributes, everything in New Zealand have been so deeply appreciated. That's the great thing, isn't it? All these years. You're lucky to have it for 70 years.
You heard it again. You talk about the tributes from all over the world. She gave her condolences. We're lucky to have her for 70 years. It's a photo op, and then let's go sit down, take a picture. Look how intelligent all of these people are. I mean, a child could do that. Now look at him. Came and grabbed him too. Look, he put his hand on his shoulders, grabbed him.
Well, it's from me. It's you did, and that's all you
Yeah, he's telling about how he had a good time in Nassau with whoever the person is. I couldn't hear what he said. But he said, "You did?" He said, yeah, Nassau. You know, he's trying to be polite. Everyone came to give him condolences. This man come talking about how he had a good time in Nassau with so and so. Play it for you again.
Yes, sir. You did, and that's all you I came to Nassau. That's right. So if you might see them tomorrow night, perhaps nothing else.
Yeah, and he responded, you know, you might see them tomorrow night. I don't know what this conversation is. Why Brave is bringing this up? Who this is? He wants to see. I don't know if this man or woman. I don't know what the situation is. But why are you having this conversation? You should have been giving your condolences. What is this? What is this? Okay? Look here. Come. Look at that. Look, Jesus.
Come have a seat.
Look at it. Look, oh my God.
Come have a seat.
He's telling him come and have a seat, and the man stood up and Jesus.
Come have a seat.
Everyone else, Prime Minister, understood what come and have a seat means.
The Prime Minister of Jamaica, you actually.
It's the Prime Minister of Jamaica. Alright, same thing. Shook his hand. Sensible conversation. Alright, standing up, giving his condolences. You know, talking about her. She was a wonderful person. She meant a lot to Jamaica. Love and respect for her. He's talked about the tributes, etc., as we have seen. All right, so come, let's have a seat. Oh, he knows how to have a seat. And that was global news. All right. And so while you're caught up on these politicians, et cetera, we need some real Bahamians to get in here and really do something well for this country. I don't understand this. I'm sorry I had to spend so much time on that. My Lord, that was absolutely embarrassing for real Bahamians. And of course, people, you know, they're part of a party, so just to defend everything their party does, instead of just saying, yeah, my prime minister, he didn't get that right. You know, you get it right next time. They're going to find some excuse. Maybe he was hungry. Maybe he was thirsty. Maybe the king didn't speak loudly enough when he said, have a seat. It was a routine. All of them knew what they were doing there. If you can't have a seat, you know what? Let's move on. I want to touch on carbon credits. Because, you know, that right there was disappointed. That was disappointing. Someone says he should have gotten briefed on that. All of them got briefed. It was the same thing that all of them were doing. You could hear they had the same script. The king said the same thing to all of them because it was a photo op. But he was the only one who messed it up. All right. So, yeah. So I want to touch on a couple of things. I may have to extend this to Tuesday. Some of this is Tuesday. But we're now in this conversation about carbon credits. All right. This conversation about carbon credits. You know, this is something that we espouse, is something that we talked about coming up. And of course, this is one of the ideas that we put out there to the people and educated the people on it. And I guess they see that this is something that they could use to make some money and get some money. But of course, like I told you, I spoke to the prime minister before election. He told me that he understands. I taught him about carbon credits. I told him everything about carbon credits. He says he understands that, but we can't let Bahamians benefit directly. You have to let a small group of people that benefit directly and then let them provide jobs. That's what he said. He said he's old school. And so now you see that as example, they're making sure that Bahamians will not benefit from this. So they're talking about carbon credits, but now they're talking nonsense, about uh, uh, paying off the debt with it and all these other nonsense. It's just ideas, but we shouldn't even be in those conversations. The only conversation we should be having right now is to see how Bahamians can finally benefit from their natural resources. And why do we do this? And some people think that you can't just be giving people. When more people in your nation have access to capital, everyone does better. Even the oligarchs are going to do better. Even them are going to prosper more. Think about that. All right? If you have a barbershop, but everyone broke and can't afford to cut their hair, you're going to not have a barbershop for too long. But if people are getting an injection of money from our natural resources, which is renewable, or from our carbon credits, that's new money coming into the society, and that's money that they're going to be able to spend with other Bahamians who are going to be opening businesses and taking more risks because they can. And so now it leads us to talk about, more of the stealing of our plants and the diluting of our plants because they just don't want you all to benefit. So let's talk about this carbon credit thing for a second. You to get a brief understanding of this. We're gonna run through this, and then I'm gonna have a second shot at this moving forward. Because what we're about to do is we're about to re-release. We're gonna re-release Vision 2025. I think I'm gonna do that on this Tuesday. We need to have this conversation again. And there's many of you who have not seen Vision 2025. And so I want to actually put a panel together. I'm going to put a panel together. We're going to sit down on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. On Tuesday at 8 o'clock. It's really a Sunday thing. I don't know, wait till Sunday. 8 o'clock, we're going to sit down and we're going to have a discussion about it. We're going to let Vision 2025 play. We're going to show you the vision that we have for this country, the difference in this, and we're going to discuss it. We're going to let you discuss it too. All right? And so also there's a new show that's coming up, a new show, and it's called Talk That. And so it's going to be premiering on this Wednesday. We have a group of very talented people, very informed, different types of people who are going to be talking about what's going on in the country, what's happening on social media, what's happening in the news, and discussing various things. All right. And so that's coming this Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So Wednesday at 8 o'clock, make sure you're there to watch that. But we're going to re-release Vision 2025. We're going to have a panel that's going to talk about it. Where were you when you first heard Vision 2025? What is it about? There are many of our supporters who said they've not seen it. So we're going to put it out there for you again. And no, we're not going to change the name. It's Vision 2025, and that's what it's going to stay. All right. So right now, I want to have a conversation about carbon credits quickly. A conversation about carbon credits. All right. And so y'all hang with me tonight. Y'all hang in there. We're going to have a conversation about carbon credit. But the first thing I want to do is I want to play something about carbon credits. You kind of get an idea about what it is. I'm going to play a couple of videos so you get an idea of what carbon credit is and how it works. Some people don't know, but I'm going to explain. I'm going to play the videos, then I'm going to explain it. Then I'm going to show you how they're raping us and robbing us and how we could benefit from this. I'm going to show you the laws that they're proposing with our sovereign wealth fund. This is going to shock you. The carbon credit bill act, I bet you didn't never read that. The Sovereign Wealth Fund Act, I bet you never read that. When I show you what's in that, these diabolical, evil people, well, we are drafting an amendment to those acts, and that's one of the things that we're going to, remember I told you, we're going to hand it over to the opposition, we're going to hand it over to Vaughan Miller, and we're going to let you see if they're serious about the people. I'm going to show you the act the way it is now, so that you can see that needs to change. I'm going to the House of Assembly on Wednesday, y'all. So, carbon credits. Hang with me. Well, this is very important. This could transform our nation and transform all of our lives. All we need is real people, the heart, to bring change in this nation. And that's the one thing we don't have. So, carbon credits, I'm going to show you a couple little videos on it. I'm going to take you into the law, and that's that. Here we go.
Let us break down for you how this all works. Every time an organization uses a resource that relies on burning fossil fuels, it creates carbon emissions, also known as a carbon footprint. Everybody has a carbon footprint. But when these emissions enter the atmosphere, they accelerate climate change, bringing, among other things, more extreme weather. Thankfully, the plummeting costs of low-carbon technologies and more resource-efficient practices mean that many organizations are reducing their footprints, becoming more resilient, and saving on energy expenditure. But reducing emissions is challenging, something that doesn't happen overnight. And with our present systems of energy and land use, preventing any carbon dioxide emissions is not currently possible for most organizations. This is where carbon credits come in. Buying carbon credits compensates for the unavoidable emissions you create today by financing projects that reduce or absorb carbon emissions anywhere in the world. Carbon credits increase the health and prosperity of communities around the world and combat climate change by financing projects that reduce the need to burn fossil fuels or draw greenhouse gases directly out of the air. Accreditations from internationally recognized standards give you the assurance that the projects producing your credits deliver the positive environmental and social impacts they set out to achieve. Moreover, your credits help finance projects that would not otherwise happen. So as well as offsetting your emissions, you are also supporting more sustainable forms of growth. How good is that?
And so that's one of them. Let me play this other one. It also has some information about carbon credits, and then I'll kind of break it down for you.
Reducing greenhouse gas emissions like carbon dioxide is a crucial component in the fight against climate change. One way governments are trying to reduce their emissions is through carbon trading, a market-based system that aims to provide economic incentives for countries and businesses to reduce their environmental footprint. Almost every activity, from travel to farming and even watching this video, leads to the emission of gases such as carbon dioxide, contributing to the greenhouse effect responsible for climate change. Unlike voluntary offsets, where consumers can choose to pay a company to balance out their carbon footprint, such as funding reforestation projects which absorb CO2, carbon trading is a legally binding scheme that caps total emissions and allows organizations to trade their allocation, hence the term cap and trade. All cap-and-trade systems have emissions limits calculated by governments and policymakers, which are compatible with their target of limiting environmental damage. Carbon allowances, or units totaling up to this maximum, are then allocated to companies and can be traded on a market. Each year, organizations with a large carbon footprint are allocated an allowance proportionate to their historical emissions, which can then be bought and sold on a secondary market. If, for example, a company knows they have gone over their allowance, then they will need to buy more carbon units from their carbon market. But if they implemented measures to reduce their emissions, they can sell any excess units on the market. A credit, which can start from $12 or run as high as $125, allows for the emissions of pollutants equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide. The price of carbon is determined by supply and demand. Supply of units is capped at a level deemed acceptable, and their cost will rise and fall depending on whether firms find alternatives to polluting. By assigning a price to damaging activity, the system provides a financial incentive for firms to reduce emissions, whilst lowering the overall cost of these reductions as the cheapest improvements are made first. Although carbon trading seems great in theory, it hasn't been easy to put into practice. The first international carbon market was set up under the UN's 1997 Kyoto Protocol on climate change. However, following widespread reports of corruption and abuse of the system, the market collapsed. A report in 2015 found that an estimated 80% of sustainable projects under the trading scheme were questionable, enabling emissions to increase by roughly 600 million metric tons. Since then, there hasn't been a consensus on the best way to implement a cap-and-trade scheme globally. However, there are a number of emission trading markets around the world at both national and regional levels. The oldest active carbon market is the European Union's emission trading system, which launched in 2005, while other schemes are operating in Canada, Japan, New Zealand, South Korea, Switzerland, and the United States. At the start of 2021, China launched the world's largest carbon market for its thermal power industry. The sector accounts for 40% of China's emissions, equivalent to double the emissions covered by the EU's carbon market. As governments tightened environmental standards, the total value of global carbon markets grew 34% in 2019, reaching €194 billion. It's the third consecutive year of record growth and values these emissions nearly 5 times their worth in 2017. And the number of cap-and-trade markets is likely to increase as many countries, cities, and companies worldwide try to meet their ambitious pledge of net zero carbon emissions by 2050, a target set by the United Nations. Cap-and-trade systems have been successful in tackling environmental problems in the past, including one covering sulfur dioxide emissions, which helped reduce acid rain in the US. Compared to direct regulations or taxes, carbon trading doesn't require as much government intervention in the economy, leaving businesses to find their solutions. And as long as the cost of emitting greenhouse gases is high enough to encourage these alternatives, many environmentalists believe it could be a relatively straightforward and efficient method to drive decarbonisation. However, an oversupply of carbon allowances during the 2008 financial crisis saw the price of polluting fall in the EU's trading system, reducing the incentive for businesses to change their behaviour. In response, the EU created the Market Stability Reserve, or MSR, a decade later, which gives the European Commission the ability to tighten or loosen the supply of carbon units. As a result, their price tripled from €8 per tonne of CO2 to around €25 per tonne of CO2 over a year. In turn, the energy sector moved output away from coal power stations to cleaner natural gas-powered electricity production that produces less CO2. In 2019, emissions fell by 8.7%, the largest decline since 2009. The EU's carbon market has also caught the eye of hedge funds and traders. Whereas OPEC controls a third of the global oil supply, the EU regulates all carbon allowances within its emission trading system. And with the EU's long-term aim of gradually increasing the price of carbon units, these are seen as a popular long-term investment. While the COVID-19 pandemic led to a glut of carbon allowances as activity across the economy fell, prices are now back up above pre-COVID levels. However, there are concerns that heavy emitters may find loopholes in carbon trading systems. Unlike the earlier Kyoto Protocol Agreement, the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement commits all signatories, not just the most developed economies, to impose carbon emission targets. If implemented successfully, analysts believe that international emissions trading could cut global emissions by around 60 to 80% by 2035. Critics of carbon trading worry that countries facing economic difficulties might be tempted to cheat, either by making their overall emissions cap too generous or using accounting tricks to overstate reductions. For example, a nation might reduce its carbon emissions by building a wind farm to replace a coal-fired power station. This would free up a portion of its carbon allowance, which could be sold to another country but might still count as a reduction in the first country's emissions, even though overall output hasn't changed. There are also fears that major polluters might relocate across borders to avoid signing up for a cap-and-trade scheme or finding a more lenient jurisdiction. Another criticism of carbon markets is that developed countries, which have done most of the polluting to date, are able to invest in low-carbon technology and have reorientated their economies to less carbon-intensive activities, unlike poorer nations. Climate campaigners also argue that too much focus on merely redistributing pollution obscures the fundamental need for all countries to transition away from fossil fuels in the near future to avoid severe and irreversible damage to the environment. The increasing popularity of cap-and-trade schemes and the rising price of carbon allowances are forcing companies to consider their effect on the climate and has led to a reduction in emissions. Although imperfect, the EU's carbon trading scheme is a model for other economies to emulate. With the creation of the biggest carbon market in China and the US's return to the Paris Climate Agreement, the global carbon market size and importance looks set to grow. Hi guys, thanks for watching our video. So, do you think carbon trading is
ladies and gentlemen, that's kind of a quick understanding and basic understanding for you. I don't understand why the government doesn't explain more of their people or make sure they have education programs to make sure that more of their people understand what's going on. But Carbon credits basically is a way that third world nations can actually get compensated for the damage that the first world nations were doing. And so instead of Brave Davis going up there begging and saying, "Oh, the first world nations need to pay and this and that," they've already set up this scheme in order to make that happen, to force the hand of the first world nations. So Brave Davis going to the UN and saying, "Oh, first world nations need to pay for the damage of pollution that they're doing." That's what the carbon credit scheme is about. That is what the Paris Agreement is all about. A way for you to benefit. The problem is countries like you are not using it. Okay, you need to use it. There's, like you said, trillions of dollars available, but you're not using it and you're going to the UN begging. It's clear that you don't understand how this thing works. And so there's no need for us to go and beg or go and make statements that, oh, the richest countries need to pay. That was the point of the whole exercise. The point was so that the wealthier nations who are polluting the earth and causing damage to the and hurricane issues, um, um, tidal rises, water level rises to the third world nations. Those third world nations can now get monies from it, and they can benefit, and it can make the scale more equal if those third world nations know exactly what they're doing. The problem is our government doesn't know what it's doing. If you listen to that video carefully, you see that where it said it allowed businesses to work things out on their own, and if you're a business, you could trade with another business and you could do certain things. Now, I'm going to take you to our carbon credit laws that Brave Davis has just enacted for you, the Bahamian people, in order to make sure that you cannot and will not benefit from what has been arranged to make sure that third world nations benefit. All right, so let me see. Pull this up for you. Okay. So I'm going to pull up this agreement for you. I want you to see this. I have the act. The act is right here in my hands. And it's called the Climate Change and Carbon Market Initiatives Bill. So it's a long bill. I want you to see this. You know, I always come with documents. I'm just talk. And so I want you to see this bill. This bill is absolute garbage. It's criminal. It makes no sense. It is not in the spirit of what carbon credits was created for. Climate Change and Carbon Market Initiatives Bill 2022. So they already put this through the House. So it's actually an act now. I'm reading from the bill because the act is, they have a picture of it and it's not really searchable. So I'm putting the bill up here. So it's the same thing. All right. So I searched the word prime minister. This is what I want you to see with this. Anything of value in this country, the prime minister tries to hold on to it to use it for political leverage. Anything of value in this country, the prime minister holds on to it to use it for political mileage. So, for example, the crown land, they don't have regulations on it, etc. So they can make sure the prime minister could use that for what he wants to. The same thing with now this carbon credits. There's a lot of money involved with this. So the prime minister, instead of putting a proper body in place to manage this, like other sensible countries, to make the decisions on this, they left the power in the hands, although they can form a committee to do certain things, they left the power in the hands of the prime minister again. Watch this. And so we just search the word prime minister in this, and you're going to see how much the word prime minister appears in this act. This act is 39 pages long. This act is 39 pages long. The word prime minister appears in this 37 times. The act is 39 pages long. The word prime minister. Now, other acts will have the minister this, the minister that. This act has the word prime minister 37 times and it's only 39 pages. They're giving power directly to the prime minister. Watch this. Let's go browse through it and you're going to see. All right, this is the table of contents. Prime Minister may create and implement initiatives, etc., to make sure it complies with the Paris Agreement. Why would you need the Prime Minister to create and implement initiatives and incentives to comply with the Paris Agreement? Tell me. But let's keep going. We're going to get to it. I just want you to see. All right, and it's going to be enacted on such day as the Prime Minister may, by notice, published in the Gazette. All right. So when he ready, that's when this is going to go forward. All right. The ministerial responsibility for administration of the act. Responsibility for the administration of this act shall be separated with distinct responsibility in the Prime Minister, who shall have responsibility for the overall general oversight of the administration of this act. Jesus. They have put this whole carbon credits thing under the power of the Prime Minister himself. Jesus. Only in this banana republic. Appointment and functions of advisory council. The Prime Minister to appoint advisory council. Wow. Let's keep searching the word Prime Minister. The advisory council, they make recommendations to the Prime Minister and then he make the decision. Only in this banana republic. Let's keep going. The minister, and they mean the Prime Minister, the minister may make regulations to further the fundamental principles governing trade in carbon markets. See there, the Prime Minister may make regulations in furtherance of the fundamental principles governing trade in carbon markets as agreed under the UNFCCC. So the Prime Minister can make regulations. So he can just go and make whatever regulation he wants as it relates to carbon credit. The Prime Minister. All right. Domestic mitigation measures, adaptation plan, and other obligations of the Bahamas under the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement, Articles so and so, Paris Agreement, the Prime Minister shall cause. So the Prime Minister will do this. So this is according to them, $33 trillion industry. But they making sure the Prime Minister is king of this and he have all oversight of this and he run things. Wait, there's more. The Prime Minister may direct in writing the appropriate ministers to cause be carried out any of the matters specific to whatever. All right, let's keep going. Creation and implementation of initiatives to reduce emissions. All right, Prime Minister may create and implement initiatives to comply with the Paris Agreement. Why does the Prime Minister have to do this? Farmers, are y'all awake? Are y'all seeing that there's big money involved? And instead of having independent oversight committee dealing with this like other countries do, you have the Prime Minister says that he can say everything to do with this and he can do whatever he wants. Let's keep going because I'm going to show you how demonic this is. All right? Let's keep going. Let's skip over that one. I want you all to see the general rules that to these things. So the Prime Minister could deal with general rules, etc. All right? Options for participating in the carbon credit market. All right? This is where I wanted you to get. Options for participating in the carbon credit market. So this is how one can participate in the carbon credit market. While you saw that video, and they talked about how businesses were allowed to do their thing and they were allowed to interact and do whatever they wanted to do, because it's an open market system, a free market reality. In the Bahamas, only the Prime Minister could say who could trade carbon credits, and it's only the government trading carbon credits with others. Bahamian businesses, Bahamian people are not allowed to get involved. Let me read this and show you. This is how evil and decrepit these people are. Options for participating in a program. There shall be 3 options for participating in an initiative authorizing trade in carbon credits pursuant to Section 29(1)(b). Namely, participation, A, as a result of general or multilateral trading agreement, that's A. B, as a result of trading with a private entity. And C, in a voluntary carbon market. The Prime Minister may make regulations to govern the participation in an initiative by any means provided for under Section 1. So, they break them down and that help you understand them. Section 23, bilateral or multilateral trading or with other countries. It says the Prime Minister may enter into a bilateral or multilateral agreement with another approved country to trade carbon for emission reductions and removals, hereinafter called internationally transferred mitigation outcomes. So the Prime Minister may enter into bilateral or multilateral agreement. I don't like how it's worded because this sounds like he going in that agreement. This sounds like this personal to him. This sounds like it's his thing, because this doesn't say he may do this on behalf of the country. They're saying the Prime Minister may enter into a bilateral or multilateral agreement. So this brave thing then, this ain't for the country. So brave could enter into this. Because this ain't saying yet. But you can't enter this. Let's keep reading. Trading with private party entities. The Prime Minister may, with the approval of the Cabinet, enter into an agreement with a private entity to offset carbon emissions. What? So we can't enter into agreement with a private entity like every other country, but the Prime Minister could enter in there. Next, it says voluntary trading. The Prime Minister may, with the approval of the Cabinet, enter into any agreement to trade in a carbon market established or overseen by an internationally recognized entity, approved by a recognized, credible international body. Jesus. Bahamas, oh my God. Sometimes I wonder if this is a real nation. That people would just sit down and really accept that. Is it only me that sees something wrong with what I just read there? Is it only me? Now I see why when they asked, and I wish y'all could pull up the video, but I know we don't have it. I sure y'all saw the video. This is how he worded it when he was speaking about it. He said, myself, I'm not waiting for the international community. I am looking at ways and means to see how I can help myself. And what I have come to realize from the scientific studies that have been made known to me, that the Bahamas has one of the biggest carbon sinks in the world, spread over 100,000 square miles. So why don't I identify my carbon assets and trade them? Bahamas, if y'all don't wake up, not only did they put that in the ark, and y'all let them put that in the ark, that the government, I think that's what they mean when they said the Prime Minister can, but he thinks it's talking about him apparently, could trade in carbon credits, but we can't trade in carbon credits. There are farmers in America trading in carbon credits and making more money from their plants being traded in carbon credits than they're making from selling the fruits and vegetables. Why can't they trade company to company across borders like you saw in the video? The normal way everyone else is doing it. No, they don't want you all to benefit. That's why. I'm going to the House of Assembly on Wednesday. Let me read this to you again. I read you the act. And you see how everything is the prime minister this, the prime minister that. That's how Brave tell them write it. And look at this is what his speech was. They had the video, they was interviewing him. I should have played the video for y'all. All right? It says, myself. That's how he started. Myself. I don't understand if that's really English there. Myself, I'm not waiting for the international community. I'm looking at ways and means to see how we start over. Myself, I'm not waiting. He had to use the first person twice. I don't even know if myself, I'm not waiting for the international community. I am looking for ways and means to see how I can help myself. He ain't looking out to help y'all. The man say he looking for ways to see how he can help himself. He said that. He said how I can help myself. And what I have come to realize from the scientific studies that have been made known to me, that the Bahamas has one of the biggest carbon sinks in the world, spread over 100,000 square miles. So why don't I identify the carbon assets and trade them? Because he has put into law that he controls the $33 trillion carbon market that could make every single Bahamian a millionaire. We will take our country back. We will take our country back. We will usher in a new Bahamas. We will usher in a Bahamas that is for Bahamians and Bahamians only and Bahamians first. Every Bahamian will benefit from our natural resources. Every Bahamian will benefit from what belongs to us. These evil tyrants will be stopped. These evil tyrants will be eliminated. They will not take what is ours. We will have what belongs to us. We don't need everyone. I'm calling for the strong Bahamians, the real Bahamians, the Bahamians whose eyes are open. If you open the eyes of your friends, your brothers and sisters, it is your responsibility, not mine. My job is to educate you, and your job is to spread the message. I'm not looking for sheep, and that is why we show you the facts. We show it to you. We're looking for lions, and we're looking for lions to recruit more lions. It says the Prime Minister may, the Prime Minister may, the Prime Minister may, the Prime Minister may. I'm not even half through all the times they reference the Prime Minister in this document. Not even half through. The Prime Minister this. Bilateral multi-trading with other countries. Oh my God. The Prime Minister may. The man take carbon. I went and educate the man about carbon credits, and he take it for himself. Yep. That's what he did. I educated the man about carbon credits to benefit the Bahamian people, and he took it for himself. Tomorrow I'm going to put this on our website so you can read through it yourself. But next I want to show you another extremely demonic document. This document is called the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. So around 2014, some persons started campaigning for a sovereign wealth fund in the Bahamas. You would know that John Pinder and others, Ranford Patterson. John Pinder was the head of the Public Service Union. Ranford Patterson was the head of the Christian Council. You had the head of the Police Staff Association. He was also a signatory to this document. They started really lobbying for a sovereign wealth fund, and so the prime minister, and they told the prime minister that, listen, every household in this country can get $100,000. They gave the prime minister at the time, Perry Christie, a document letting them know that, let them know what they found, and that's just from the Raganite. They wasn't even talking carbon credits yet. They didn't know about it, and they told them everyone could get $100,000, every household. And so Perry Christie said, you know what, that makes sense. So since these fellas lobbying, they starting to catch on. Let's give them something to satisfy them and then buy all of them out. Cause all of them to go quiet. Because you notice none of them are talking about it now. But all of them got some cushy positions. Patterson got director position at what do you call it, at cable or whatever. We saw what happened to John Pinder. He got position. They silenced the head of the Police Staff Association, and they did this, the Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. And this is an act to create a sovereign wealth fund. Although a sovereign wealth fund is not an act, it is a fund. It is an account, like a bank account is a fund that money goes into, and then you take the money and then you do certain things with it. So them having a sovereign wealth fund act does not mean that there's a sovereign wealth fund. All right, we need a sovereign wealth fund. All right, and so I want you to see the most important part of this. I'm also going to put this out there on our website so you can see this. I'm going to go straight to section 20 because I don't have time to waste with this. This is a demonic document, and we are going to submit an edit to this document, an amendment to this document. We're going to present it to Vaughn Miller, and we're going to present it to the opposition for them to table it in the House of Assembly to force them to let us to put all of our land, our crown land, all of our natural resources and everything else into the sovereign wealth fund, and to have us to benefit from it. All right. But I wanted to see what this says about the sovereign wealth fund with investments, because what countries do is they invest their sovereign wealth fund. All right. They invest the money, and then they get returns on it. I'll explain that in a second. All right. This is what they have in their sovereign wealth fund. Act, Section 20. No investment of the fund is to be directly or indirectly made in the Bahamas. So no one in the Bahamas can benefit from our sovereign wealth fund. No investment from that fund is to be made in the Bahamas. Jesus. This is in black and white. I know they talk about, inflation and that kind of stuff, and what happened in Northern Europe and that kind of stuff. Listen, that was their experience. I'm going to continue reading this. They said no investment of the fund is to be made is to be directly or indirectly made in the Bahamas. B, is not to be made in any entity, whether or not incorporated, conducting any of its business, whether directly or indirectly, through another such vehicle or entity in the Bahamas. Or any entity, whether or not incorporated, controlled by a citizen or citizens of the Bahamas, or any person or persons resident in the Bahamas, or any combination thereof, or whether or not in any case formally or informally acting in concert. This is what they think of y'all. Remember Brave say we ain't gonna let Bahamians benefit? It's right here in black and white. No investment to be made in Bahamas with the sovereign wealth fund, or any entity, incorporated, any company or anything, any company or incorporated business in the Bahamas, or any person in the Bahamas. This is what they think of Bahamians. This is it here in black and white. So our wealth fund could make billions of dollars if it wants to. But guess what? They put in there that y'all can't get none of it. Don't think about it. They put in the arc to make sure y'all don't benefit. That's it there in black and white, what they don't want y'all to see. So they can distract you with this nonsense. Oh, Lincoln Owen, woman. Don't listen to Lincoln, he have a pass. Listen to us while we juke you and rape you and rob you and take everything that's y'all own. That's it there in black and white. But they know the way to hide something from our people is to put it in writing. They passed that right through the House. FNM and PLP let it go on right through the House and no one said a thing. FNM and PLP let them pass this nonsense carbon credits bill where the Prime Minister gets everything. And no one said nothing. Did you all hear Michael Pintard come out and say, hey, this bill that they're trying to pass, this is what it says. They are wrong. This should not happen. Let's compare it to Norway. Let's compare it to other countries. It's wrong. The Sovereign Wealth Fund of Norway invests in oil in Norway. They have an oil company called Equinox. It was called Statoil before. Their sovereign wealth fund is worth over $1 trillion now. Yes, Equinox that caused all the damage in Grand Bahama. They invest in their people. They empower their people. Dubai, they invest in Dubai. They're building buildings and skyscrapers, etc. in Dubai. Our government put it in writing. That no investment should be made in this country. No Bahamian should benefit, and no Bahamian company should benefit. That's Section 20. Any other country, you would have been rioting in the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to open the phone lines at this time. I'm going to open the phone lines, and y'all can tell me what y'all think. I know we discussed a lot today, and I'm invested in Bahamians because I really believe in y'all. I really believe that if we open the eyes of the Bahamian people, they're going to insist for better, that they're going to want better. I believe in y'all. And so many people are saying they believe in me, but I'm doing this because I believe in y'all. That's the only reason I'm here. That's the only reason I'm still here. I could have been gone. I'm doing this because I believe in y'all. I give this one more shot. Bahamians ain't serious. Bahamians ain't ready. If you didn't work hard enough to get your brother and sister, etc., on board, we have to be the most abused country in this world, and we sit down and just take it. We talking about marital rape. We need to worry about governmental rape. We getting raped, robbed, and destroyed every single day. Y'all call me and talk to me, please. Because somehow Pintard them want to run again after letting those bills go through the House. After letting that carbon credit bill go to the House, where the Prime Minister run things, and now he's saying I, my, me, myself. It's my things. The number is right there, 803-5995, 803-5995, 803-5995. We in trouble, Bahamas. We in trouble. We in trouble. Don't call me. 803-5995. Let's talk. What do you think about what you just saw? You'll get on the phone. You call WhatsApp or regular. Either one will do. WhatsApp or regular. 803-5995. We are going to go to the phone lines. Good afternoon. Welcome. Oh, your volume is really low. Your volume is. Hold on. Let's try that again. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yes, now we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. I was watching the show and I was just wanting to make comment.
Go ahead, man.
I just want to let him know that I am card carrying PLP for years, but I'm also a government employee. That's the reason why I don't want to really say too much, but I just want to let him know that he's doing an excellent job. And I also would like to know when is the COI having another meeting, because I would like to attend the meeting. Because what I'm seeing right now really upsets me as a Bahamian.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
It upsets me as a Bahamian. I hope that I see that Bahamians are reactive. They're not proactive at all. They're very reactive. And I'm a person I don't agree with things like that. I believe in putting a stop to things before it becomes a problem and fester.
Yeah.
Okay?
I agree with you 100%. He said he's a card carrying PLP, but he doesn't like what he's seeing in this country. The COI is going to, moving forward, we're going to start having meetings, monthly meetings. And so we're going to inform you when those are going to be. And so it's going to start in October. And so we're going to start having monthly meetings. And that's where I'm going to be revealing a lot of these stuff that you're seeing. And so we want person to come out, educate yourself, bring your family out, let them ask questions, let them feel us and touch us, meet us. We're going to have regular monthly meetings. Every single month, we're going to have meetings. All right? So let's go back to the phone lines.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Oops. Okay, we lost a call. Hello, are you there?
Good evening, Lincoln.
Good evening. How are you?
I won't say I'm wonderful, but the best, I guess. You make the best out of every situation.
Yeah.
So, Lincoln, I'm calling from Abaco. We have some issues that need to be addressed and addressed now.
Yes.
A few weeks ago, a taxi driver that is known to myself would have come to the clinic with complaints, and she actually died on the outside of the clinic. And after she died, they then brought her body inside.
Wow.
Because I didn't get all of the details surrounding that story, I didn't say anything about it. Because number one, the family is very near and dear to me. I am right now at the Marsh Harbor Clinic. I came because my son was having massive pains in his stomach, so we brought him here to be checked out, just to make sure that if we have to fly him out or whatever it is that we have to do, we'll make whatever preparations to get him off the island.
Right.
Only to find another lady that is known to me. She would have had a stroke in 2016, had another stroke July of this year. She's here at the clinic because she's having massive headaches, dizziness, shortness of breath, and her pressure is low. Has been here for over an hour.
What?
And sitting on the outside, will detect her vitals, but told her family to take her home and come back in the morning. And only because her sister is very adamant, they then decided they would call the doctor. The doctor that is on call would have taken some hour plus to get here. That is not proper care. The lives of Abaconians matter. The lives of Bahamians should matter.
Yes.
Dr. Darble and our Minister Darble, they need to get the proper things in Abaco and follow protocol as far as it comes to people's lives. I am sick and tired of the fact that, guess what? You can bring your family members here to the clinic, but you can't go inside with them. We can lift mandates for everything, for people to party, for people to go everywhere. Everywhere else is accessible except health. So if something happens to your family member, they die alone, or they're in their pain and their agony alone. No one's inside to make sure that, you know what, you guys, because I don't care what anybody say, no one is going to be as attentive to my family member as I am. So, and I'm sick and tired of seeing persons. This hospital is not even outfitted. It's designed to be a hospital, but it's still operating as a clinic. Persons in Abaco have to spend some $7,000 just to be airlifted off the island. I'm talking about minimal things. Minimal things. You come here with a headache, they tell you you have to go to Nassau.
Wow.
It is ridiculous. It is beyond ridiculous, but yet our government can fly up and down, taking care, wanting to take care of the concerned countries, while you all have not dealt with the needs and the concerns of Bahamians.
Wow.
For far too long, we've sat by too quietly. I see where Bahamians are now becoming outraged, but everybody needs to wake up.
Yeah.
Today is hard. Tomorrow could be your family member.
Wow. Wow.
And I just thought I would draw some light to that. I want to thank you for taking my call.
Listen, man, I thank you for making that call and letting us know what's going on. And of course, all of the government officials watch this live. And so, of course, we're going to get some action down there. We need it. Abaco needs so much, man. It needs so much. But we need the people of Abaco to stand up now and vote in a way that they can get the change. Because it's not going to come from where it's been coming from.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right. Going to go to the next caller. Good afternoon. Welcome. You're live.
Good night, Mr. Ben. How are you?
I am alive. How are you doing?
This is Mona Lisa Smith.
Hi, Mona Lisa Smith.
Okay, what I wanted to say, I want to piggyback on what the young lady was talking about in Abaco. It's unfortunate, but that is happening right here in our local hospital.
Wow.
And the crisis today actually made 2 weeks since I saw my mom alive. I said when I put it to rest, I'm going to go ahead and say exactly what has been happening. You know, my mom was verbally abused on one of those particular wards.
Oh, wow.
And my mom, since she was aware of it, and since I told someone about it, one particular nurse consistently continued to verbally abuse her by saying, yeah, you told your daughter that we verbally abusing you, but yet still we have to come and change you. When it was time for her to, because of course she's 79, she had a fall in November. When it's time for them to move her leg, they would tell her she have to turn, and sometimes it was difficult. They would lift her leg and just throw it. That was the experience that she was having. And so when she called me and told me to take her out of there on September 8th, I went and I got my mother. And thank God I did. Because that weekend was the last weekend we actually saw her live. She probably had an idea that was going to be her last weekend. But I was furious because I refused. I said I was not going to allow my mom to die alone. And I would tell every Bahamian, if your loved one called y'all go get them. Yeah. My mom had 2 cell phones while she was admitted. So one could get, the other one would work. And then even sometimes they would have the table so high and they'll push her back that she couldn't even get to the second cell phone sometimes.
Wow.
So all sorts of things they were doing in that ward. One day she lay down on one particular side because the nurses that was on, they were not the friendliest. And when I went in there at 6 o'clock, she said, thank God you reached so you could lift me up. Mm-hmm. And that's the type of person my mother was. When they didn't want to be bothered, she stayed on one side all day. And this is how your loved ones get bad sores. just so she wouldn't have to be bothered. But there's two particular noises she always talk about. She always said she would always give them their blessings and stuff so that their children and their grandchildren can be blessed. And if Bahamians don't stand up to this disgusting, corrupt leadership, Bahamians, y'all see that document? With $33 trillion, that means 30 plus years, his children will be benefiting.
Yeah.
If only the brave Davis administration controls that. So y'all better wake up.
Wow.
And that's all I have to say for tonight.
Wow. Thank you, man. We appreciate your call. We appreciate your call. $33 trillion with a T.
Yes.
$1 trillion.
Trillion.
Thank you for your call. We appreciate it. All right. I'm going to play that for you quickly. I know the next call is going to come in while I'm playing this, but listen.
Mr. Deputy, we will see that, for example, the fastest growing area of the international economy is carbon trading. And if we look at the latest publication of Bloomberg, we will see that it is predicted that by 2030, this particular market of carbon trading will reach up to $33 trillion. And we are at the vanguard. 33 trillion, and I'll share it with you.
33 trillion with a T. And we're at the vanguard. We have the biggest carbon sink. We're number one. 33 trillion. The phone lines is open. Give me a call. I know some of you was trying to call in and couldn't get in. You can try again now. 803-5995 is the number. 803-5995. I saw someone was trying to call through WhatsApp. There we go. Good afternoon. How you doing tonight?
Good afternoon.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, I thought at least they would have to be mandated to pay off the national debt with our carbon credits. It don't even look like they want to do that.
Listen, man, brave them want to take all of that for themselves. That's what's going to happen. And he put that in writing, in law. And Tintad and those incompetent opposition leaders in the House of Assembly did nothing. They just passed it. I think they voted for it too.
No, but there's got to be something wrong with this. Got to be something that, I mean, how you going to have a national debt? The people in front page news telling you they want to pay off the national debt with this carbon credits, but you say no, you're going to do something else? And that was what? How is this possible?
My brother, we got to stand up. We're going to need leadership. More persons going to have to take risks with us and put themselves in the forefront. We got to make this happen. We need leaders on every island. You can see that we're stretched thin. We need leaders. We got to stand up as Bahamians. We got to spread the word. Talk about this all the time. Forget about talking about basketball and football and those kind of things. We got to talk about how every Bahamian can be wealthy, how we can take this country back and we can change this. That's what we got to do. I'll take another call. Thank you for calling, man.
Okay.
All right. Phone is ringing off the... Okay, here we go. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hi, good night, Mr. Lincoln Day, and good night, Bahamas.
Good night.
Lincoln, the government has an opportunity right now to use this natural resource for the benefit of all people, including our nation. What they're trying to do right now is obvious. And like you said, the S&M government did not oppose to it because guess what? Whenever they get in, they will be sitting in the same seat as beneficiaries and not the people. Okay, we don't want what happened with our Aragonite, our crown land, to now happen with the future generation that is about to come. We have the opportunity right now as citizens in this country, with the education we have, with the information we have been afforded, to stand up against this and to put something in place where our children and their children can benefit besides the cronies and their families, friends, and lovers. We have the power. We have the power to make our generation coming up great. And not only the generation to come, but our entire country. We must stand up against this.
Yes, we will. And the question is, will Bahamians rise up? Will they educate and inform their fellow Bahamians? Will they teach their children? You know, PLP won because Grammy used to tell you, listen, you go vote PLP or you get out of my house. They couldn't tell you why you must vote PLP. They couldn't tell you why. Just I as a PLP, you just be PLP.
But I just want to encourage the Bahamians, our people. We have to now take a bold stand for our children. We cannot allow those old tools of discrimination and the tools they use to keep us at bay. We have to stand up and stand in the front of our children to come. We cannot be afraid. We cannot be afraid. They are depending on us.
Yes. Thank you for your call. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
God bless. The fact that they are going to spend $40 million on a prison while PMHs in the state is in shows you the mentality of these clowns. They do not need to be running this country. We get to this WhatsApp call. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Hello?
Yes, you're live.
Yeah, calling from Freeport.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, hey, Lincoln.
Yes.
Yeah, in reference to the country becoming a republic, I think we need to start educating the people on that now, because you have a lot of people who don't even understand what the definition of the country becoming a republic means. And before they try to rush and do a referendum where people do not understand what's going on, we got to educate them, and it has to start, because 6 months, 3 months ain't gonna work in terms of trying to get some of these stubborn people to understand what the benefits are and what the privileges of being a republic is.
Yes.
All right?
Yes, we'll definitely, we're going to be having more. We're going to be having once a month, we're going to be having meetings where we're going to be educating the Bahamian public. We'll have meetings in Nassau for now, and we'll have meetings in Grand Bahama every single month. And so at these meetings, we're going to be able to educate people on these different things. We don't, like you're right, we don't want them to do the wrong republic. There's different types of republics. We don't want a republic like what Barbados have. We want a republic like they have in America, for example.
In America, yes.
All right, where we're voting for our judges. So you don't have crooked judges going in there who are appointed by the prime minister to do whatever they say. Or if you have some activists you need to attack, you just attack that activist and make whatever decision you want to make. So we want people to vote for our judges. We want people to vote for the commissioner of police, not putting a political puppet or crony in that seat who's just going to do their bidding. We want to vote for all high offices in this country, including the Senate. This is the kind of changes that we want. If you go and look on our website, we have a good plan for good governance on there. You can see the kind of things that we have planned to make this change, including island states where the islands will govern themselves. They have their own budget. Most of the money from those islands stay on those islands. So all of the information is right there. But we're going to be releasing Vision 2025. Make sure you're there this Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and we're going to have a panel discussion.
All right, because see, a lot of these people, they don't read and they don't go online to check these things. They only just go to check TikTok and foolishness.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So it's really, really important, because see, their definition, when they hear like a country say the Dominican Republic or the Republic of Congo, they thinking this like a belittling term, you see, and they don't know that the UK and America and Canada and all these places are republic countries. Okay?
Yes.
And based on the rules, and these people need to be educated on that, because boy, listen, it's rough talking to people out here about this thing.
Well, keep talking. That's what the battle is, and the battle is going to be fought in the minds. We have to get in the minds of the people. The battle is not on the ground; it's in the minds of the people. And so that's where we got to keep fighting. And that's why I do this every single week nonstop. All right? But thank you for your call. We got to take other calls.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right. Thank you, man. Good afternoon. You're live.
Lincoln, I got two questions I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
When you get in power, are you going to push forward? You mentioned sometime last year pertaining to the ombudsman committee as it pertains to the healthcare and the challenges in the healthcare with the staff. Are you still going to push that?
Yes, definitely. We have to have patient advocates. Right? They have something similar now, but we need it. We need it on a broader level in our country. I got to for the first time. I got to spend time in the hospital recently in America, and let me tell you something. That was an amazing experience. I felt like I was in a resort actually. The way you have the patient advocate and you have people looking out for you, and the way it ran, we need. I think it was a lesson for me to really see how we're going to transform our hospitals here in this Bahamas. I can tell you that within less than a minute of walking in that hospital, they had a doctor that saw me, had already done an ECG. That not a doctor, doctors, a team of doctors came to me. They got me in a room. A team of doctors came to me. I had an ECG. I had a CAT scan, an X-ray, all this stuff already, labs already taken in a matter of minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. In a matter of minutes. All right. This is the kind of service that we need in this country. It can be done. All right, we need to treat our nurses better. We need to have an organized system. We need to pay them so that they want to come here and work, that they're happy to come to the work, so they treat the patients properly. All right, we must have that. So we're gonna have an amazing health system, and it's gonna be free to all Bahamians. Look out for Vision 2025 on Tuesday 8 o'clock, and you're gonna see how we're gonna make all this free. All the numbers, everything is there.
Well, my last question, I mean, that's also what you said, because we lose too much of our family members, our loved ones.
Yes.
They're terrified to go up there. They don't want to go up there. They're fearful.
Yes.
But my next question is, you mentioned something when you were talking about some of the stocks that overseas that most politicians, similar to those, they hide in their financial systems over there. It's a question.
Yes.
Bahamas Striping, who really owns that? Because they were saying this financial lending institution, they help the young man get where he is in that business. Is that true, or that's just a front? And I would hang up and listen.
I don't want to do an expose on Bahamas striping yet. There's certain companies that we are looking into. But Bahamas Striping, they got a $5,000 grant from the government. But of course, that couldn't get them the equipment and that kind of stuff. There's persons also behind that company. And so I don't want to get into them yet. There's a Bahamian at the front of that. And so we're happy for him. But listen, we want to make it so that all Bahamians have that kind of opportunity, and they don't need to depend on oligarchs who just want to open another company to hide their money, or to hide it from their wife, or hide it from the government, or they just need something to do with their money. We are going to make sure that we invest in all Bahamians. Vision 2025 is on Tuesday. You're going to see it again for the first time. And we're going to be investing up to $5 million and giving land to Bahamians. It can be done. It will be done, so that they can live their dreams and not depend on any oligarchs. All right?
Okay.
Thank you for your call, man. So not only will there be patient advocates, there's going to be ombudsman. So next caller, I saw a lot of people was trying to call in just now. There will be ombudsman for this whole nation, so that the government, if they are acting out of order, they can be in place. When you are being victimized by the government, you don't even know what to do or where to go. You don't know how to deal with that. You can't afford court. You go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, you're live.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm calling from Abaco.
Hey, welcome, man.
Yeah, man. Y'all guys doing a very good job.
Thank you.
I wanted to make a point of the candidates for Abaco or even other family islands. I don't hear much from them.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're going to soon stage another one on the 28th to go into the House to stop the bill.
I want to find out how the islands could get involved. I mean, it's so difficult getting to Nassau.
Yes.
That we could stage a protest in our own islands. I would like to know who's the candidate for Abaco. I really don't know who that is.
Well, the election is over. So the previous candidates are the previous candidates. And now we have a 4-year period where we'll determine who will be the next upcoming candidates. And so I am not even officially the candidate for Pinewood. We're forming branches in each community because remember, before we were not a party. We were a group of independents working together for a common cause, all right, as a coalition. Now we've decided to form a party, so we are forming our branches. So it's not about the candidate, it's about the branch. And each branch will have their own leader, their chairman, their vice chairman, etc., all the positions. And their job is to go in the community, spread the message, take complaints from the public, funnel it to us so we can handle it and deal with it. So it's not about the candidate. You never release your candidates too early because then you give your opposition a chance to attack them, to buy them out, etc. So just so you understand, it's not about the candidate, it's about the organization. The PLP and FNM, every election, they might run about 8, maybe 10 persons who ran the time before because it's not about the candidate. They have branches. And then if you want to be a candidate, you go into the branch, you start working with the branch, doing things in the community. And so that's the same thing that we're going to do. As the candidates come forward, we're going to send them into the branches, go and work along with the branch. And that way the branch can get back to us and say, hey, we worked along with this fella and he's not cutting it. All right, we don't want him. Now, the second person, we want them. And they have a strong say because they walked on the ground, they worked with that person, and they know what that person is capable of. And this is the community that will have a hand in this. And so that's how it's going to work. But we are going to be, as you can see, we've not stopped working since election, and we're going to be working on every single island. We're going to form the branches next month in Grand Bahama. By the end of next month, we're going to start forming the branches in Grand Bahama so that Grand Bahama can get strong. We're going to move to Abaco and to every other island out there. All right?
All right. Well, yeah, I just wanted to make that point because I haven't seen, no place where we can vent in Abaco.
Yes.
Even if it's in front of the community's place. Or
Yes.
in front of the courthouse, I don't know where to go to even protest.
Yes, you're talking about different protests. We have leaders on the ground, but we're going to be forming something structured. Just stay tuned because Abaco is crying out, and we really need to do something. But our leaders are going to start organizing certain things, and you're going to see in the coming weeks. All right.
Okay. Well, Abaco, I feel like we getting ready for war as well. So.
Yeah, and I'll be there to fight with you. I will be on the front line of that war with you.
I'll be right there.
All right, and so you can reach out. Are you in any of our groups?
Unfortunately not, but I did vote for y'all guys.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm going to put the office number there, and if you're not in any of our groups, you can send a message to say add me to the groups. So we'll add you to the Abaco group and some of our general groups, so you can be informed of what's going on. Okay?
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon. You're live. Okay, we had a lot of calls coming in just now. The number, official office number is 804-4264. 804-4264. That's 804-4COI. 804-4COI. And you can call that number, and you can if you're not, you can send a WhatsApp to that number. Send it now if you want to. Let them know you want to be added to the group. Let them know what constituency you're in, and that you want to be added to the group. Will your name, your constituency, and you want to be added because they got to save your name. All right. So good afternoon. You're live.
Hi, Megan. This is Floyd. How are you?
I'm awesome.
Okay, quick 2 things. One, you need to make an ongoing clarion call to men because men are not showing up in the market volumes. So they're overlooking us and the power and the impact and the leadership that men bring. 2, on the domestic side, what has the new administration done to the Bahamas? They seem to be on an international agenda. Everything is geared towards in the international community.
Yes.
And press what's going on outside of the Bahamas. So until men show up in force with leadership, potential, and aggression, it's not going to change. Men have to show up.
Yeah.
Women are showing up in massive volumes. Where the men, like you said, they probably watching a football game, basketball. I don't know what men are doing.
Yeah.
Like when I was on your show the other day, I've been to Abaco, I've been to Harbor Island, Lutra. Now, and men are not showing up.
Wow.
It's like they throw their hands up, they're hiding under their wives or mother's skirt. They have to show up in court. This is our country. We have nothing against these guys in Parliament. It's just that they are corrupt, and we're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah.
I talked to immigration. No, he was on the defense force. He said by the time they show up to do raids, because the defense force is infiltrated by persons of Haitian descent, by the time they show up, the persons already have left. Only persons with their actual paperwork are remaining in the shanty towns. So what we need aerial reconnaissance before the defense force goes in, and they're not allowed to go in, or they tell them to stand down. So what is the agenda? It's something hidden that I'm not smart enough. I know that it's smart, but I don't seem to know what's going on. What's behind it all? There's a veil like in the temple, and only the persons in these secret society and cabinet know the hell that's going on with the Bahamian people don't know. And then we're talking about freedom of information. It'll be damning, it'll be implication, it'll be an indictment against the persons that are in their graves, that were politicians, people who are now in the House of Assembly. They implicate and indict themselves with the corruption that they are privy to and partnership with if they were to pass this freedom of information. COI or die people. We can change this country, and the only way we can do that is bring COI to office.
You're right. Die or die. As simple as that. Thank you for your call, man.
I'd like you to elaborate. If I don't call, and I'm not one for lots of talking,
yeah.
When it's time for action, that's when I show up.
Yeah. Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. But before I go, I need you to explain to the Bahamian people and make a clarion call. Always the men to show up. Because men got to come out.
Yeah.
Right,
listen, the reason our country is under attack is because the men are sitting back and doing nothing. That is the reason our country is under attack. The reason our country is in the situation that it is in is because the men are not standing up and fighting. I want to say this to all of our men. I'm going to get to the phone line in a second. I want to say this to all of our men. Listen, everyone you watching on football today, all them rich, all them straight, all them living good. Their children are straight. You got to stand up and save this country or you could be in trouble. I'll elaborate more on that in a minute. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, you're live. Go ahead.
Lincoln.
Yes, I'm here.
I hear you mention about the $40 million they're spending on the prison.
Yes.
You know why they spend that on the prison? Because they know when you become president now, they want to upgrade that because when you become president, that's what they can have.
And I can still put the politicians in the old prison where they've been putting our children for all these years.
That's for real talk.
That could be the P block, the politician block.
Yeah, that's why they spend all that money on the prison, you see, because they know that's what they can have.
Yes, it is disgraceful. You know, we don't have a hospital and you building a prison. It's like this country isn't real. Like you couldn't even make a movie about this. The movie wouldn't even make sense.
No.
Wow. Thank you for your call, man.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I support you, man. I am Millennium Gardens, and whoever you put in this area, we support me, man.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
You know,
I was there from Miss Green and Ellis years ago.
Wow. Thank you, man. We appreciate you.
Just before you even joined the crew, I was scrolling one night and I saw them and the topic was interesting and I just joined them. And I never lose track no more.
Thank you, man. Thank you. We're going to win this one. We're going to win this. We're going to take our country back.
We have to. We have no other choice. We have no other choice.
Yes. All right. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you for taking my call, man.
All right. God bless you.
Same to you, bro.
And so, like the previous caller said, we need our men to stand up. You see what's happening with that Haitian lady. And yes, we are going to do demolitions in that community. We are going to do demolitions in that community. Well, that's our community. That's our property. So while the government is busy attacking Bahamians, they wouldn't even help that woman who has crown land that was issued to her. And the Haitians are building their houses on it. And the government wouldn't say nothing about them. Wouldn't dare touch them. But they will send threats to Bahamians who are farming on the ground land. Yes, farming. I heard, some foolish person on a talk show on Guardian Radio saying, "Oh, they're building houses. They're not farming because they should have already had crops." Many of us have already reaped from our crops. I've already reaped a lot of onions. A lot of onions. Me, who didn't know anything about farming. I'm playing like I know about farming. I am a computer scientist. Okay? I have reaped onions. I have reaped lettuce off of my farm. I have reaped limes off of my farms and peppers off of my farm. All right? I've already eaten off of my farm. In case you didn't know. Also, celery. Okay? 2 types of onions off of my farm. Bahamians want to farm and they want to eat. It's simple as that. And they're attacking Bahamians. While these fools wouldn't even give us a Freedom of Information Act, now they're talking about more bills. Ladies and gentlemen, join the WhatsApp group. That's the number there, 804-4264. That's the number. Just send a WhatsApp there. Yes, we are forming a strong militia. Some men have already contacted us, and we've already gotten in contact. If you want to be a part of that militia of Bahamian men who are standing up, serious Bahamian men and women, send a WhatsApp. Save our nation. That's all you say in the WhatsApp. Save our nation. We're going to get in contact with you. Save our nation. O-U-R. Not A-R-E. Because when we search, we can see you. Save our A-U-R. Nation. Once you text that to 803-5995, we're going to be getting in contact with you in short order. Just text us. Save our nation. We want strong men to stand up. Strong men to stand up because something is coming and we have to defend our country. Something is coming. And if we get to have an election soon, we can stop it. But if we have to wait 4 years for this election, there's going to be a war because they've already stood up. You saw that evil gentleman, Louis Georges. He made some statements on social media, and some of y'all aren't noticing what's going on all around you. He said the Bahamas is a very underpopulated place. That was the call for them to come. Fill up the Bahamas. Now they're going to our family islands. That was the call he made. And then he had another Facebook comment where he said that we just sitting there letting this happen. We just sitting there and letting this happen. He said that they are no longer in the bushes. They are coming out now. In other words, you all get bold. You all get strong. You all stand up. You all fight. You all stand up for your rights. Ladies and gentlemen, we need change. I want to show you something. Your children are not ready for the mentality that is to come. This is a woman in Abaco. A woman in Abaco was crying out for help. This is during Dorian. That's how they started looting and carrying on bad over there. She was crying out for help and none came.
I
Watch
am
this.
I am so disappointed in our defense force, and I don't know what trouble I'll get in for saying that, but I have to say that because they are looting terribly. They've already taken over one neighbor's house. They're coming by water. These people have guns. Okay, our defense force cannot handle this. We need help. I'm sorry, but we need help. This is a major catastrophe. My nephew's wife was saying that it is scary. They're throwing rocks at you. They're breaking your windows that aren't broken. The houses that are still intact, they're trying to take them over. They're looting everything. It's horrible, guys. It's horrible.
At the time when this happened, the Minister of National Security came out and said that is not true, that no looting, nothing was happening. Because it was just stuff on WhatsApp first, messages. Said no looting was happening in Abaco. And of course, this interview came out. And why are government officials lying? Like, he literally came out and lied and said that no looting was going on in Abaco. Instead of just saying, hey, we're going to get on it. Something is happening. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, you will be shown a liar in short order, but you still telling this lie. Like, you're defending what's happening with the Haitians because I guess you don't want no one to touch the Haitians or say nothing about them because I can't get it. And then people started to send this.
Down on there. It's a food store.
To show they were looting.
Store break open. People serving themselves. They say that's happening. Just walking and serving themselves. People carrying tires, batteries. Telling you what's going on over here. Oh, don't matter to me. Report to be mad. Be mad, get a report.
And so that was the Haitians looting. And then the Minister of National Security at the time, Marvin Dames, just went quiet. It's like something is going on in the air. And our politicians are helpless. Let me get to the phone line. I'm going to show you another video. Good afternoon. You're live.
Yes. Hi, Lincoln. I
Hi.
have a question.
Yes.
Like I said, I've been looking in the newspaper, and they always say when people applying for citizenship, they'll say something like, if anybody know of any reason. How could we know of reason for the Haitians coming to the Bahamas? I mean, we don't, we're not in Haiti. We couldn't figure out, who they are. Are they gangsters? You don't know any of this thing because the government even don't know who's coming into the country. So how are they getting citizenship and they're not being screened? What type of background check is immigration doing on these people?
They are doing no background check on these people, none whatsoever. They're not able to do a background check on these people. They're unable to.
But they're giving out citizenship.
Yes, they are. They're giving out citizenship like candy. And so a Haitian drug lord can come on the boat, live here for a while, and pay off someone to get a citizenship. And he can be a gangster. And in short order, he can then run for prime minister of this country and become prime minister of this country.
Lincoln, I can tell you, I saw some videos, not the ones that you've been showing, other videos down in Haiti. Those people are dangerous, brutal, cold-hearted people. They'll kill you in a hurry, I can tell you that. They will kill you in a hurry.
I live
from
there.
Their mentality, I see it. I see what they do. They beat up and chop up their people in the streets like crazy.
I lived there for 2 years. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I saw it. I saw dead people being dragged in the streets. I saw people being burnt. I saw tires burnt and buildings ramshacked. I saw this with my own eyes. It's not anything that anyone is telling me about.
Jesus Christ. Well, I
tell you, we got problems. We got major problems.
We got to stand up and we got to educate our people and we got to run Brave Davis them out of office if they continue to allow this to happen.
Oh my God. Well, I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm with you. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. I'm going to show you this video. I can't show you the whole video because it's so gruesome. Some of you have seen this. Go in the WhatsApp group. Join the WhatsApp group if you want to see this. This video. A woman had a baby. They caught her with the baby. Look like she kidnapped the baby. To me, the woman looks to be having mental problems, but they just jumped and said, "Oh, she's a witch," and they just went crazy on this woman. We don't know if she had mental problems or what the situation was. She looked like she's kind of, but watch this. I can't play the rest of that for obvious reasons. They beat her, they dragged her till she was naked. They threw big boulders on top of her, and then they lit her a fire and burned her up. Your children are not ready for this war that is to come. Why? Yes, the baby is alive. I say this because even think about this. That girl that was so courageous, that woman, that prophet of God. She's a prophet. And she stood up. She's of Haitian descent. Her parents are Haitian. She stood up and spoke out against what Haitians are doing in this country and what's happening in this country. They threatened her. And they've now silenced her. She shut up and she's not going to say anything else. That is what has been happening. So if that's happening now, when they don't really have the strength, what do you think is going to happen as they build their strength up? If the government isn't helping you, if your fellow Bahamians aren't helping you, and you on your own, they are more aggressive than Bahamians. Somebody says that's what Brave wants to happen to the Bahamian people. That's what the Bahamian people want to happen to themselves because they voted for Brave. After Brave made that, in any other country, if the prime minister of that country or the person who's running for prime minister or president had made the comment that Brave made, there is zero chance that that person would have become president or prime minister of that country. Zero chance.
Let me just say that I have always been a part of this community. And there's no accident I go asking all the dancing. Because I always be and share with you. Because you are me and I am you. And I'll be here with you always. And those who knew me from the past and know me now, they always knew that I was there and always been there for you. I don't call you all are not Haitians, Bahamians. You are Bahamian, and your origin is Haitian. Mine too, and many of us. You have to stay apart for now so we can be together later. Hey, long now.
Do you think if Barack Obama had gone to an African event and started shouting African words and talking like Africans and saying, listen, I am African. I am you and you are me. And I want you to vote for me. Do you think that those Americans would have put him in power? Yeah, he is of African descent. His dad was African. But you think if he had gone to an event, had called Africans together, and had started shouting African phrases and doing their dance and saying, listen, I am one of you. I'm going to look out for you. I've always looked out for you, and you look out for me, and we could be together. Do you think that the Americans would have voted for him? Bahamians. Bahamians. Think. You will never see someone running for president of the United States talk about their background of being from the Caucasus Mountains of Russia or being from Ireland or Scotland or, hey, I have background from England and I want all my English brothers to vote for me. What? Well, I'll say this as I begin to close. I am Bahamian. I am born, bred Bahamian. I born, bred, gadad Bahamian. I will never have another nationality. I will fight and die before I give up this nation to any outsiders. I'm Hannah Hasty Tynes, being from Auckland's Crooked Island. I'm a Poitier from Cat Island. I'm a Roll Bow from Exuma. I am Lincoln Bean, a full-bred 10th generation organic Bahamian from New Providence in the Bahamas. We have a chance, an opportunity to make a change if we would stand up and fight together. I'm going to the House of Assembly on Wednesday. I'm going to go in the House and sit in the House. If persons want to come, they can come. I'm not calling for a protest or anything like that. I'm going to the House and I'm going to sit in there and make sure that they are not going to call that bill. An organic Bahamian is going to stand up for organic Bahamians, and they can fight all they want. They can bring up all the stuff that they want to bring up. They can say whatever they want to say. I'm a Bahamian. I'm a Bahamian. And I have a right to stand up for my people in my country. I'm even standing up for the ones who are standing against us. I'm standing up for all Bahamians. That is what I am doing. And they can kick up as much as they want. But we are going to win this battle. Because good always wins over evil. We're going to win this, Bahamas. But we can't win this without you. We're going to create the next Bahamas. We're going to create the Bahamas where Bahamians are first. We're going to create a Bahamas that's going to blow your mind. We are going to show you vision like you've never seen before. Vision that is easy to implement. Just like Dubai invested with their sovereign wealth fund and Norway invested with their sovereign wealth fund, we're going to invest in a cruise line that rivals anything that you see in the world. Cruise ships that go throughout the Bahamas. And we benefit from it. Cruise ships that cruise all throughout this Caribbean. And we benefit from the tourism of others. Cruise ships that travel throughout Europe. And we benefit from it. We're going to take the Bahamas to the world. We're going to start presenting our vision to the Bahamian people again. I'm sorry I'm not going to take any more calls because I'm going to wrap up now. This video is too long. So people complain sometimes, oh, this video is long. I got to watch the whole thing. Yes, you do. That's how we're going to do this. But ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, we begin Vision 2025. We're going to have a panel. We want you to contribute. We want you to call in. We want you to say what you have to say about Vision 2025. And we're going to have to do it in a couple parts, but we're going to start with Vision 2025 on Tuesday. You're going to see the numbers. You're going to see how this is possible. You're going to see how they've been raping us and robbing us all this time. And if you want to go back and continue to the paradigm of having a plantation economy, where the foreigners come and get our land, our natural resources, they get our money out of the banks and they build their dreams and we work for them folding sheets. If that continue to make sense for you, then you'll continue with that. Keep voting for vote for Brave and Pintad. So you can fold sheets. Vote to fold sheets. Vote to serve drinks. Or you can vote for a new Bahamas that is going to be the envy of this world. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave y'all with a vision from Dubai and a prophecy from the prophet I know as Dr. Miles Monroe. I'm going to be out there on Wednesday. We're having a protest. Join me. Come out there. Be there from 9:30. I'm going to be there from 9:30. And I'm going in that house. I'm going to sit there as they table those bills. If they don't let me out, I'll stand outside and watch it. If they don't want to let me in, I'll stand outside and watch it on my phone. And the minute they say they can table them bills, it could be a problem. Wednesday, 9:30. All right? That's what I'm doing. So I ain't calling for no one else. But if people want to come, they can come. That's the House of Assembly. I hope you understand and you read between the lines. Ladies and gentlemen, change ain't coming. Change is here. Watch this.
I don't know how you did this in 50 years. You look at history. Who does this? Show me anybody else that has done this in 50 years. I'm waiting. Show them to me. This wasn't done by money. Money doesn't produce visions. Visions produce money. You've had leadership over here that were visionaries, great visionaries, and their vision was more about the people than the money, because you can't accomplish this in 50 years without loving your people first, because the people are the ones that's benefiting from this. Look at your health care. Look at your road system. Look at your highway system. Look at your airports. Who does this in 50 years? But who benefits? You're going to care about those people. It's something to be learned about what's been done over here that could be duplicated in the world, because it's people with this much money. You just don't have people with this much love for their people.
Politically speaking, I think that we are in a leadership dilemma. We are at the point in history where transition is taking place. And no one is deciding that. Life is deciding that. Most of the older leaders who were part of our historical journey are fading into the sunset. The realities are effective leaders always prepare their replacements. They mentor and they create succession.
Monroe said he had a dream once about the funeral of a celebrated track and field athlete. In the dream, he said the athlete was lying in his coffin in his running uniform, clutching a baton. As mourners filed past, Monroe said he realized what the dream was about when he woke up.
It was about people dying with the baton. You know, instead of passing it on. And I was thinking, the young person who's supposed to lead next have to go to that casket, pry the baton out of the dead man's hand just to take it to the next leg. This may be what we're struggling with here. People would rather die with the position than pass it on. And so you find the young people having to fight to get it. Great leaders pass it on before they die, and they live to see the other runner run. Hopefully we'll get there in the Bahamas.
Ladies and gentlemen, I go to a better place. I go to a Bahamas that we can all know and love. We're leaving this Bahamas. There will be a new Bahamas. No, we won't call it the Republic of the Bahamas, even though it will be a republic. The United States is a republic. They don't call themselves the Republic of America. We will be the new Bahamas. And we will bring the change that we need in this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the cusp of a new Bahamas, and this will happen if you make it happen. Talk to your friends, talk to your family. The new Bahamas is here.
I'm gonna be free on God.
It's gonna take a little bit of a fight. Like Finland had to fight.
With my face turned to the sun.
Like Milo Butler had to fight.
Weight on my shoulders.
We're gonna have to fight.
A bullet in my gun.
Will you fight with me?
Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head.
I can't do this alone.
Just in case I had to run.
Will you stand with me?
I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. You hear freedom calling me to answer. Keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones.
New Bahamas is called.
Have made it 100 miles to freedom. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom? Carrot tummy.
Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm waiting through. You know I gotta make it. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. You hear freedom calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on.
Harriet, welcome to the Underground Railroad.
And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone. And I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with
I go to prepare a place for you. And it's not this Bahamas, it's a new Bahamas. It is a better Bahamas. Thank you for tuning in. See you on Tuesday at 8 p.m., where you will see the new Bahamas. The Vision 2025. The Vision for the new Bahamas. See you next time.